morning and welcome to Blacktown International Sportspark, round 17 of the NEAFL. It's the Sydney Swans up against the undefeated and questionably unbeatable Brisbane Lions. I'm Eddie Summerfield, joined in commentary by Chris Corby this morning. Chris, good morning to you. Second game of the season for you. Great to have you here.
Oh, good morning. Pleasure to be here. It should be a fantastic day here today, International Sportspark. Weather is perfect. The Swans looking a very good team today. With Sam Naismith with the big story today for the Swans, returning from 2 years out with an ACL injury. The Swans will be managing his minutes today, but it'll be really exciting to see him return. And the Lions, how imposing have they been this year? A really strong record, undefeated so far. It's going to be a pleasure to watch.
The Lions, they equalled their club record of most wins in a row with their win last week over the Gold Coast, making it 13 in a row for this season. Top of the table. Been a couple of late changes to the Swans side from the selected team on Thursday night and subsequently on Friday. The late one this morning, Ben Ronk, he is out of the team. James Rose comes in. Ronk named emergency for the senior Swans side. They're playing Geelong at the SCG this afternoon. Earlier games in the NEAFL this round, it's been a cracking round of footy. Sydney Uni, they upset Aspley at home with a 7-point win in Jack Hiscock's 100th game, snapping a 6-game winning streak for the Hornets. Southport, they had a 9-point win over Canberra. And last night, the Thunder, good one to see. They got up over Redland by 7 points. Later today, it's the two newest AFL franchises, Gold Coast and GWS. That will be live here on NEAFL TV. The toss of the coin has happened, Chris.
Yep, Sydney Swans won the toss. They're kicking to the left of screen. So really exciting game today. As both teams are preparing to positions now. Umpires today are number 3, Chris Brackenrigg, number 18, Dean Garraway, local Sydney boy, and number 24, Aaron Langdon. So it should be a pleasure to see those men officiate in the green.
So, perfect day for football here at Blacktown. It will be the Lions to the right-hand side of your NEAFL TV. Don't forget you can comment. We are interactive on YouTube thanks to Bar TV. Let us know who you think's going to win, which players you're looking forward to having a look at today, as umpire Garraway holds the footy aloft to continue round 17 of the NEAFL. Ruckman lock horns. The Swans win it down. Midfield battle there was good. Rosa bent over, picked it up, did well. Sorry, it was Bell. Came out the way of the Swans and they go inside 50. Big contest of players. Menzel was a target, couldn't quite mark. The Lions have numbers hanging out the back. Corey Lyons, he's in some sensational form at the moment, but his first kick of the day goes out of play on the full.
Just a bit of a hacked entry there from the Swans just to start. Just kick deep, no real target tall as we watch Flanagan kicking long up the wing. Pack mark, good spoil. So they have a contest there, they've brought it out. Flanagan again.
So the handball came out wide. The Lions, so the numbers across half-back, all good. Corey Lyons, the target. Armity did well. The late inclusion, James Rose there, outstanding. Flicked it out in front of his teammate, Michael Knoll. His handball, though, cut off. Lions again with numbers, hacking the footy forward. Pink was there and couldn't quite find it for Sydney.
Both teams have just been filling each other out so far. Been a lot of wing play. Swans have attempted 2 forward 50 entries so far to no avail. Not entries of any quality, mind you, but still very early days.
Just the height of the Lions. Couple of key outs for Brisbane coming into this game. Ben Keys and Archie Smith, the big ruckman, he's out injured, and Keys for the Lions yesterday in the AFL says it's tapped down. Bastanak wrapped up in a tackle. And it will be tossed up once again.
James Rose there with the tackle. Really impressive years so far from Rose. Getting back to the senior side as he clears it forward. Bit of a hack kick. Up in the air. Falls, no one marks it.
So Allison was there for the Lions. Handball came backwards. They're working it pretty well. And it was Lions who got the hack kick around their body. And no mark could be taken. Spilled out of the hands there of Connor McFadgen, Lions Academy product. Perfect day for footy here at Blacktown. The Swans haven't beaten the Lions since they last played here at Blacktown, round 13 of last season. As the footy came out the way of Rose, going into pick it up Wicks, couldn't quite find the handle on the footy. The Lions with numbers, round the body Smith inside 50. Was it marked inside the line of play? Just. So first scoring opportunity of the afternoon is going to go the way of Tom Fullerton. He's kicked 14-14 this season as the umpire just tells him to come around the mark. And if his intentions by that kick are anything to go by, he'll be just looking to set it up at the top of the goal square. Called to go now, passing to the pocket. Really good kick there from Fullerton. And it goes short. The Lions will move the footy quickly. Poor checking from Sydney.
Oh, good play, Lions there. Using your men. Swans defenders found lacking there. Just letting the Lions dictate the play.
And Corey Lyons, who'll be lining up for goal, dominated the past couple of weeks at NEAFL level. His goal kicking could do with a bit of work. Kicked 9 goals, 8 for the season. Begins his approach. Not a breath of wind here at Blacktown today. First major is on the board. Perfect start for the Lions, Chris, and that one going through the hands of Corey Lyons, who's had a fair bit of the footy to begin with. Oh,
absolutely. So definitely good start by both teams here. Matheson's got his hands on it early again, continuing his great form. It's really good to see here. Lions had the best of the play. They've been really efficient moving the ball forward early, and that forward 50 entry just showed there. They snuck a kick just inside the forward 50 and were able to spot it up to a lovely 30-metre kick on goal there. And if anything's to show, the Lions will be very impressive today.
Imposing team this year, unbeaten. Can the Swans match it with them? They're third on the ladder coming into round 17, a 9-4 record, percentage of just 108. As the footy's pinged into the turf again, we'll give that one to Noel. Coming charging through was Bell. The captain this afternoon couldn't get a clean possession out. The Lions have numbers. Handball came out the way of the goal kicker Lions again. Eventually it's flicked out towards the broadcast side. Lewis Taylor was waiting for it, couldn't quite find it. Short kick came out the way of Geddes, couldn't find the handle on it. The Lions with numbers. Geddes really good tackling pressure. Ball spills free to Starcevic. He also couldn't get a clean possession out. The pressure out there is really intense at the moment. Smith comes charging through for the Lions. And it will be a ball up right on centre wing.
Swans really hungry there. Pressure footy bought that stoppage.
So Michael Noel doing the ruck work again. Mid-season pickup from South Australia. Couldn't quite find a teammate. Bounced out the back of the pack. Picked up by Pink. In a bit of space, Wooler on the mark effectively. Couldn't quite get a hand to it. It's well marked there by James Bell. The skipper today has had a pretty impressive season for the Swans.
This is Bell's second disposal here. Looking all right so far.
So short kick, a bit underground, didn't quite work. Cody Hurst had his head ripped off as the Lions regained possession. Round the body snapping Bastanak. His kick, it will work out okay. Toby Wooler picked it up, went to Smith. Smith goes searching for Wooler, couldn't find him. The pressure good from the Swans. Rose picked it up, late inclusion this morning. Slapped down to ground. They've got the numbers here, the Swans, just can't quite find a clean possession as Thorne hacked a kick to half forward. Searching handball. Allison cuts it off for Brisbane. Banged it on his boot to half forward. Bouncing ball. Big pack of players. Pink kept his feet out the back. Wooler applying the pressure. Didn't quite do so quick enough, and the kick-out's really good, and it found Noel. Wants to go quickly, why not? Rose is waiting on the wing, works the handball 1-2, very nice. Thorne through midfield, inside 50, kicking to a paddock. Menzel coming from behind, Lions defence did well, came out the way of Payne. Payne flicked the handball back to the running Allison. Kick through the corridor here at the Bisp, very good as they're called to go. Kick inside 50, poor one, and it's cut off and really well marked there by Kyle McCullough. And 50, not quite. Not quite, bit of pressure from Tom Berry.
Oh yeah, very good so far as it goes wide. Wanting kick there. Mark by McInerney there, kicks it long to the wing. Form with the mark there on half back. Holds it up. Goes long to the wing. Michael Noel there with the fist, sees it out of play. Toby Pink's been one for me so far this game on half back. It's still early. He's looked very impressive. He's stopped a few chances, a few 450 entries, but the Swans yet to capitalise really so far this game.
He's really bulked up over the course of this season. That's an outstanding tap down. Came to the skipper, Bell. Got it to half forward. Looking for Menzel out the back. Did well, Daniel Menzel. He'll run into an open goal and put the first... Oh, no, he's missed the simplest of opportunities. No one in the goal square. And should have just lined up a drop punt there, Chris.
Absolutely. But the work of Bell there was sensational to set that goal up. Although it was missed in the end, Bell was outstanding there. Look, good signs early for Bell.
So the Lions across half-back, good-looking kick. It will come out the way of Joyce, but it's cut off really nicely there by Nick Brewer. The North Shore Bomber goes inboard, where he's got Zach Foote waiting for it.
Bit of a stagnant forward 50 here as he goes inside.
So long kick, really good, strong mark there by Jacob Allison. He's having a bit of a presence early on across half-back for the Lions. Lions Academy player from Aspley, showing the strength of the NEAFL. His kick's really good, came out to McFadgen. Another Academy product. Short one, bit of a wide one. That's out of bounds on the full.
Yeah. Just the unlucky toe there right at the end. So Swans have the ball here.
Off the boot of Lewis Taylor.
Brewer looking for inside 50 here. Not many targets between themselves. Smothered on the mark. Brewer gets a second chance. Runs around. Oh, grass cutter there inside 50. The old chaos ball. Comes out. Swans tracking it.
That's a beautiful snap around the body.
Snaps. Oh, Zach Foote, outstanding. And the boys get around him there. Really good follow-up there from Brewer. He made a couple of mistakes, kept following up his kicks, and resulted in a great pressure goal there for the Swans.
Poor Lewis Taylor standing on the mark there as the footy was just belted into his head. He looked around going, geez, is it Sunday morning or what? Where is the ball? I wouldn't have a clue. And that allowed Brewer to provide a really good second effort and get that kick in.
Yeah, the pace of Brewer there, really outstanding too, to take on his man and beat him. Just a shame that the composure on the left foot wasn't quite there for the youngster, but a great effort that set up a goal.
So the Lions trailing the Swans now by a point. After a strong start for Brisbane, the Swans' pressure hasn't lapsed at all. About 10 minutes into this first quarter. Using the secondary circle today because the one in the centre just quite well worn. As the two ruckmen fly eventually came the way of Bastanak. Rushed a kick to half forward. Bouncing ball. Swans have the numbers. Picked up well by Rose. He's wrapped up in a Toby Wooler tackle immediately. Held to him. And umpire will throw it up. Half forward for Brisbane if you've just joined us on NEAFL TV. Early morning game today to accommodate for the Swans AFL clash later this afternoon. As Rose's kick was smothered off the boot. Wooler was working, as was Joyce. Rose somehow hacked a kick to half forward. Packer players. Corey Lyons flew, couldn't quite mark. They've still got the numbers here, the Swans, if they can just find the handle on it, which they do. Came out to the goal kicker in foot. He'll run to half forward, put it inside 50. Bouncing, ugly ball. He'll have to find it. Snap, weave. Flicked the handball off to his teammate. Came to Menzel. Bit of one-hand work. Got a handball in the tackle. Umpire comes in, says he threw it, and it will be a free kick to the Lions.
Just couldn't get control of it there. A little bit above his reach and just had to almost throw it out there. Well, he did in the end as it goes Lions on the far side.
So in front of the scoreboard, it shows the Swans leading the Lions early by a point in a really fierce, good game. Lions look to work it up the I Love Blacktown wing. Spilled out the back. Got the numbers though, Brisbane. The Swans' pressure from a string of academy players outstanding. Handball was searching for Ahmady, did well, flicked it inboard, Rose round the body to half forward. It will bounce before it will hit the target. They've got numbers to work the handball. Came the way of Geddes. He found a bit of time in the end, Geddes. That was really good from Max Geddes.
Really good there. Had the composure to spin and find the moving target there on the lead.
So to make it 2 in a row for the Swans, set shot. This is a very hard pocket to kick goals from. As he begins his approach to take it to a 7-point advantage the way of Sydney. 45 out, drop punt on the way.
Oh, just goes right late. He'll hit the post, the umpire says.
So that was Jackson Barling. He'll be disappointed by that. He's a good kick at goal. 7 goals, 1 for the season.
That's an impressive record.
So Brisbane will bring it in. They'll come broadcast side, just streaming out of the square, working the handball to the pocket, long kick up the wing. Swans have the numbers here. If it can go out the back, it doesn't. Kick cut off well by Noel. Noel will work the handball over the top. Eventually comes to Maguire, kicking inside the pocket. Good-looking kick.
Maguire.
And really good mark taken. The Swans will waste no time. Rayner to the hot spot, and it's turned straight over. So the Lions cross the back line. Ryan Lester, short one out wide, couldn't quite hit the target on the wing, and the pressure's good from the Swans defender in Joel Armady, and it will be tossed in.
Swans are just really had an intense 5 minutes here, you'd say. They've brought their pressure. They've had quality inside 50s entries, which is what they were lacking early in this game. They're starting to look really dangerous up forward. They've got a good forward structure now. So
footy tossed in. Hopefully you're enjoying this one on NEAFL TV, wherever you're watching across the country and around the world for that matter. As the tackle was good from Tom Fullerton. Couldn't quite go and find it. The Swans inside 50 again. Packer players fly. Ball fisted away there. Lions with numbers at the fall of it. They look to just slowly work it up out of defensive 50. With it at the moment is Joyce. Joyce's kick.
Oh, the Rose interception there.
Didn't quite strike it well enough, did he, to find Toby Wooler, who was on a long lead from half forward. Kick is really good from Rose. He wants to go quickly, does McInerney. Has to go around the mark now. Then he goes to the hot spot. Good-looking kick. Lions with numbers. It will come out the back. Big chance for the Swans. Geddes picks it up, wrapped up in a tackle. Got his handball. Swans still with numbers, snapping around the body and pings into the post.
Well, some really good play there from the Swans forwards. Geddes just couldn't get that kick away. It would have been fantastic if he did, but Swans able to mop up there and unfortunately scored a point hitting the post.
So they've got numbers here, the Lions. Cross half forward. Long one. Cedric Cox the target. That's a really good mark. It's almost like a catch that you'd see in the gully from an outside edge.
Oh, absolutely. There's no one inside the Lions forward 50 there.
So Cox moves it quickly. He's got a player out wide there, Robertson. Obviously didn't back himself from that distance. And Nick Robertson, originally from West Perth in the Waffle, played the 6 games in the NEAFL this year. He'll just look to go short, just a little bit closer, and the angle a little bit worse to Connor Ballenden.
Bit of a pattern here so far today with the Lions chipping around with both of their marks inside 50, just to try and find a better angle or a better kick, maybe a little bit closer to the goal.
Bit of Chinese checkers almost inside 50, just looking for the ideal target. As Ballenden begins his run. No wind to speak of at the Bisp. The ball bending. It's got the carry too. And the Lions are back in front.
So far, stats-wise, Zach Foote has been sensational for the Swans. He's got 5 disposals so far. Michael Knoll as well, the big ruckman, 4 disposals, all handballs, typical ruckman style. And we look at the Lions so far. Allison, 5 disposals, and Lions with 5 disposals. Matheson also handy with 4. But the big surprise there was Knoll getting on a few handballs there quite early.
He'd be one a little bit hungry. He'll be looking at McLean making his debut in the AFL this afternoon. Another man who was taken in the mid-season draft, so maybe he's going, oh geez, I could make my AFL debut if I put a bit of form together in the NEAFL.
Oh, absolutely, especially with Sinclair out for the season. Swans trialling a few ruck options, while Naismith, the preferred number 1, you'd imagine, is still coming back from injury. There's an opportunity there for a good couple of weeks of footy.
So the Swans really should have at least 3 goals on the board, you feel, and the Lions, well, they're in front by 3 points. They'll work it out of the midfield really nicely. Starcevic enjoyed his game so far, but the Swans' numbers are cross half forward and they're linking up nicely. Here's Rose, late inclusion this morning for Ben Ronk. If you've just joined us, he'll be the emergency for the senior side, and that kicks wayward out of play on the full. Haven't seen Sam Naismith out there yet, Chris. Not sure if you've spotted him.
I haven't spotted Sam Naismith as of yet. I think the Swans are still managing his minutes. I believe he's on the bench currently. I haven't seen him yet. He might feature in the second half of this game.
That's a really good story, him back in the team. Did his ACL at training in March last year, so he missed the entire 2018 season and missed pretty much all of the 19 season as the kick comes to Toby Wooler across half-back for the Lions. That's a poor kick. The ball drop probably wasn't there, but he's got Corey Lyons charging through. Came to the reality TV star Eagles, slapping it forward. Swans pressure really good there by the academy kids through the middle. Here's the captain today, Bell. Couldn't quite get a clean possession, but it was good enough to allow Wicks some time to find the footy. But the Lions across half-back, really good, smart stuff. Just banging it out wide. Good pick up. Couldn't just find the handle on it. Pressure really good from the Lions. Toby Pink, we've liked his game early. He'll go inside 50, one-on-one situation. Now the pack comes. Ball spills out there. Coleman lurking for the Lions, and it's picked up by Hamish Allam. A man you were looking forward to having a look at today.
Oh, absolutely. Hamish Allam, local Manly product from Sydney. Played a lot of Sydney Premier Division football for Manly Warringah. Very exciting prospect there. The Swans are having a close look at as a top-up player.
Chris Corby on comments this morning as the footy comes back to the Swans. A floater, a finger breaker inside 50. It's punched away by Eagles. Lurking, there's the captain. Put it on his boot, Bell, and misses the lot, and it just slides in for a behind.
Feels like Bell's been everywhere today. He's just sneaking in all the time, picking up the ground ball. Just hasn't been able to capitalise there, but I've really enjoyed watching his game so far today, Bell.
It's as though having the C next to his name, he's gone, right, I've got a bit of a licence to take the game on today.
Oh, yes.
And he's got that burst of pace that... Love watching him play. Kick comes in. McInerney will start from behind. Big fly came out the back. The Swans, though, they've got numbers across half forward if it can bounce the way there of Campbell. It did. So they'll go backwards just to find some space. Link up. Kick out wide. McInerney the target. Bashed away from him. McCallum was there. Couldn't find the handle on it. The Swans pressure really good across half forward again. That was led by Kyle McCallum.
McCallum, a really strong tackle there. Just wrapped him up. He wasn't going to get away from him.
So, bounce down, taken by Bell again.
Yeah, Bell just seems to be everywhere we look right now. He's on fire at the moment, Bell. 4 disposals so far.
McInerney, he was perhaps held by Berry, number 5 in the competition for tackles. Swans with numbers through midfield. Bit of a tap on the foot there by Foot. Couldn't quite get a run on. The Lions, numbers are on the wing. Just kick it and hope at the moment. Joyce takes it, got the numbers running on. Can run into an open goal, drop punt, lines them up and goes straight over the goal umpire's hat. Well done there, James Madden, the Irishman.
Oh, you've got to love that play. They had the numbers there. They burnt them on the transition. Swans had 2 defenders. Lions had about 5 attackers streaming forward there. It was just going to be who kicked the goal in the end. Lions working really hard there on transition. I was gut running.
Really smart stuff there from Tom Joyce. He's had plenty off the footy early just to know when to handball it to James Madden. Like, he gave him a bit of chance to burst forward, which he's really quick off the mark. And
that's right. It shows maturity as well, just to hold it up a bit there to make sure that happens. But really impressive play there.
So Brisbane, 3 goals straight. The Swans, they've had their chances. As the clock ticks on to the time-on period in this first term. Hopefully you're enjoying it on NEAFL TV. Let us know where you're watching from. Whose game has really impressed you today, as umpire Chris Brackenrick will call for it back after the bounce hit a bit of a divot.
Yeah, just as we reset, just looking at the stat sheet, Lions for the Brisbane Lions has got 9 disposals so far, which is amazing. He's on fire this quarter, Lions.
Had 43 touches last week against the Suns, so
he's certainly in the purple patch right now.
So they got numbers here. Good tackle there from Tom Berry, the tackling machine. And it will be tossed up half forward for Brisbane. What do you think the Swans need to do here? They've been good, just haven't been able to convert.
Yeah, they've been a little bit inconsistent, I've found. Their forward structure just seems to be varying here and there as it goes forward. Bit of a hack kick.
So it will bounce. Oh, geez, that's an amazing gather there by McFadgen. He'll just put it to the hot spot. Set up beautifully. Swans with numbers, although charging through. That's really nice. Noah Cumberland couldn't quite find the handle on it. Swans defence under immense pressure as it came the way of Sam Thorne.
Form was just swamped there.
Yeah.
He got the ball and he had 3 Lions players hanging off him and just did all he could there, which was hold it up.
Jeez, you could throw a blanket on about 25, 30 odd players at the moment as it's one down by Noel. There's Rose again, Bell rather, hacking it forward, came to Menzel, back inside defensive 50, running there Thorne. He's done really well to get it back to the captain, Bell, through midfield, bouncing ball, Allen the target, can it bounce up his way, really good pressure there from Eagles. Just got it back to his teammate there in Coleman. So the Lions hacking up the wing. Bushed away from Bastanak. Swans pressure good here. Handball came out the back way of Flanagan to half forward. And that's a really strong mark. 60 out. Wanted to go quickly. Why not? McInerney at half forward. Couldn't quite reel it in. Put it on his right boot. Underground sort of kick. It was partially smothered. Lions defence under instant pressure. Umpire circling. Crosses himself.
Transition was really interesting there for the Swans. They had no one inside the forward 50. And it was almost a foot race there. They put it out in front of Ellum and just said, go chase it, son. And he did quite well, but they just couldn't get it forward.
Swans in attack. McInerney couldn't quite find it. Cedric Cox pressure good. The Swans handball came out. McInerney charging through. Flickett wanted the 1-2 with Menzel. Couldn't quite. Menzel dropped it. Umpire called play on. Snapping around the body. Swans number 2 of the day. That was excellent.
Braden Campbell there with the snap. Sensational goal. Just while being tackled as well, about 35 metres out from goal. Really impressive there from Braden Campbell.
First game in the history of the NEAFL and for him. Now, he's a really interesting player. Kicked 4 goals in the NAB League earlier this year. Did enough to be selected for the Allies in the Carnival. Had an outstanding Carnival too, and also represented Australia at under 17 level earlier this year against New Zealand, which was the curtain raiser for the St Kilda Adelaide game in April. So
yeah, also really promising. He's already got 4 disposals so far. Sometimes when you see the top-ups, they come in, they're struggling to find their spot in the structure of the team, but 4 disposals early and a goal on debut, if you don't mind.
Not bad for a 17-year-old.
Yeah, I'd take that if I was him.
So back in the middle, the Swans, been understatement to say they needed that one just to keep the scoreboard pressure there with the all-conquering Lions. 2-4 plays 3 straight. Swans, I think they'd be dominating possession at the moment. And it's a free kick. It will go the way of Corey Lyons. Another possession for him inside 50. Bit of an underground sort of kick. Couldn't quite be marked. Picked up nicely there by Jackson Thurlow.
It should be mentioned here, Noel is just dominant in the ruck right now. He's got 10 hit-outs to 2 currently. He is just monster in the ruck contest here.
Archie Smith, of course, out for the Lions this week with injuries. It came into the late inclusion for the Swans. Rose. Kick was turned over. The pressure really good. Spills free. Chance for Sydney through the midfield. Tackling pressure. It was a bit over the top there from Starcevic.
Edingo away comes in there. Lets you know it's high.
So McInerney, he's had a bit of it early. Possession probably not as clean as he would have liked. Drop punt searching. It's cut off though. Couldn't quite be marked. Cedric Cox goes backwards via hand. Toby Wooler just lurking out wide. His kick a bit underground too. Handball over the top. Searching for Robertson. Couldn't quite find it. Tackled without it. Umpire called play on. Robertson, second effort, really good. Chance for the Lions going forward. Bastanak came out the way of Tom Berry to the pocket. Will it stay in? No.
Stuck in for a point. From our angle, that looked to have gone out of bounds on the full, but goal umpire there, very confident it was a point.
He was in the right spot. The sun glare may have just put us off the white goalpost as the handball came the way of Rose. Running out of full back line. Good use of the body there from Skinner. So Skinner wants to go quickly, and why not? So it came out the way of Lewis Taylor. Just stopping and propping. He'll set it up to half forward. Swans defence in really a good spot. Diving on it. Slide rule. Umpire said no. Foot did well. Although the Lions pressure good. Berry again. The tackling machine. Spilled out the way of Flanagan. Handball couldn't hit a target. Lions pressure really good. McFadgen tackling. Umpire called play on. And a pack of players just circling. Rose underneath it.
It appears to be a Lions player down. I can't quite see who it is from now. They're just getting up now.
Long kick out of defence by Foot. Starcevic breaks one tackle, runs to 55, lines up the big sticks. Kick fell short. Swans defence there, snapping around the body. Really good from the Lions. McFadgen kicks a major. Just the pressure didn't stop there from the Lions, did it?
Repeat inside entries there. Kept turning it over on the half forward. The Swans, the half back line. The Swans did as they were trying to exit there. Lions just kept putting it back in.
Sorry, Chris. Just trying to exit through the corridor. Perhaps should have looked to go wide towards the boundary
Well, that's right. The riskier play going through the corridor. Swans probably didn't need to take that risk at this point, and it resulted in a goal with the Lions getting the intercept and sending it back in. The kick inside 50 was a bit of a hack, but they were able to mop up beautifully and get an excellent goal there.
So they just won't go away, this Brisbane Lions side, as we've come to learn in 2019. Plenty of AFL listed talent out there again today. As umpire Dean Garraway bangs it into the turf. Another outstanding bounce. Noel again wins it down. Can the Swans midfielders do something with it? Not on this occasion. Brisbane inside 50 again. It will come out the back of the pack. Here's McFadden, the goal kicker. Can he find it first? Doesn't get a kind bounce. He's swamped by a swarm of Swans. Though the Lions, they just keep coming. McFadden, second effort, really good. Ballenden lurking. Cedric Cox out wide with a handball. They just work it back into a bit of space, Brisbane, to find the right option going forward. And it's worked again as the mark is taken really cleanly there. And they'll have a set shot through Connor Ballenden.
Really impressed with Brisbane's forward pressure there. They're just locking this ball in. All the midfielders have to do is get it in there, and the forwards are doing all the work for them. They're not hitting too many targets on their forward 50 entries. Just these forwards creating the pressure on these Swans' backs just to get these repeat entries and another mark there.
So Ballenden on the runway. Drop punt on the way. It will come across the face of goal. Big pack of players. The Swans defence under pressure. Keeping it in nicely. Jackson Thurlow. Wide sort of kick looking for Wicks. And it trickles out of play out there. And the Lions will have another chance to structure up and get things right.
James Bell's right there in the contest. He's also been impressive. Again, 8 disposals just come off the bench as we see the umpire throw it back in.
So tossed in. Lions in attack. Came out the way of your man there, Bell. Kick was partially smothered. The Swans defence will have time. They work a string of handballs really nicely. Kick rushed perhaps. Cedric Cox stood his ground. Came out the back the way of Starcevic. He's had a really good first term. Bell came charging off the line. Couldn't quite be effective. Shot at goal there for the Lions out wide. And it will bounce just out of play. And it will be tossed in.
We've just seen Sam Naismith emerge from the bench. He looks like he might be ready to come into this contest, which will be great to see him return.
So the Lions in attack. Leading this one, if you've just joined us, by 9 points. The Swans dominating early, but the Lions really good in front of goal. Noel won that one down with a double fister. And we'll have another ball up.
Noel again dominant, 14 hit outs so far to 2. He is just monstering this. Matheson just being outworked.
Rose had his arm pulled out of the socket just about there as he picks himself up off the ground. Ryan Bastanak there too. So the Lions from a stoppage situation. Drop punt. He won't get that one. Came out the way of Berry. Couldn't quite get a possession away. Swans just trying to clear the zone at the moment. This footy will bounce. It was really well trapped there by the Irishman Madden. Eventually got a kick inside 50. Lions lining up. Bastanak, the sun got in his eyes. Had enough time to steady the ship, snap around the body and ping it into the post.
Oh, that shot there was set up by a really poor defensive 50 exit there. It was just thrown on the boot into the middle of 3 Lions players. They are unlucky not to get a goal there.
So this is where the Swans just have to take their time, work it slowly. McInerney measured kick. They'll work a handball back the way of Thurlow. Long one, out wide. Really good use of the body there by Nick Robertson of the Lions. They've got numbers just hanging out the back. Kick inside 50, Fullerton. It's a high one and it will be bashed away out of play. Good stuff from Thurlow.
Fellow, obviously AFL experienced defender there, showing his experience, just bodying and getting the spoil in there was really effective.
Former Cat, of course, at AFL level. Lions in attack. Noel did well. Couldn't quite find a teammate via hand. Pressure really good there from Matheson for the Lions, although the Swans did enough as hacking it out of defence. Rose, that's a big one. It could bring rain later today. Bashed away. Eagles couldn't quite mark for the Brisbane Lions as the handball came out wide. Wrapped up in a tackle, perhaps too high. Umpire said holding the footy.
He was just monstered there, set upon by several Lions players, and there's not much he could do.
Cody Hurst, academy player for the Swans, as Jack Payne has it. Has a look up the ground. It's one-on-ones absolutely everywhere. So he'll have to kick to a contest, Payne. If he can keep it in, kicks it to the bench. And it will be a free kick to the Swans.
Right idea there, going up the line to try and get to the tools. Just didn't get the kick right.
So Wicks's kick is a good one. Finds Thurlow. Goes right back to the full back line where Nick Brewer was waiting. He'll come back to where it came. McCalla. As the siren sounds for quarter time, it shows a 10-point lead for the Brisbane Lions here at the Bisp. 4-2 plays 2-4. The Swans certainly had their chances. We'll take a quick break here on NEAFL TV for quarter time. We'll come back with the stats and the goal kickers. But it is the Lions leading the Swans by 10 points. It's a 10-point advantage to the Brisbane Lions here at the Blacktown International Sportspark. Welcome back to this NEAFL TV coverage. Thanks to our broadcast partners, Bar TV. I'm Eddie Summerfield, joined in commentary today by Chris Corby. Chris, it was a fascinating first quarter of footy. Who were some of the major ball winners and goal kickers?
Oh, absolutely. So far, the ruck battle has really been won by Michael Knoll out of the midfield. 7 disposals for Michael Knoll. 1 mark, 16 hit-outs, which has been fantastic. The Lions, Skinner with... Skinner with 2 hit-outs, the next best. So he's just absolutely dominating here. As we see, Sam Naismith going straight to ruck for his return here. These are his first minutes in his return. Welcome back, Sam Naismith. Bell has been sensational for the Swans. 8 disposals. And quickly for the Lions as well before we get restarted. Lions, 9 disposals so far. Allison's also been impressive with 6 and Matheson with 6.
Hopefully you're enjoying this one wherever you're watching. Don't forget you can let us know what you think of the game so far and where you're watching from. Got a few watching in London and Central Victoria. Quite a few Lions fans there, hoping their team can make it 14-0 this round as Chris Brackenrig holds the footy aloft with the Swans to the right-hand side of your NEAFL TV, trailing by 10 points. As the footy goes into the turf, Sam Naismith's cleaned up in his first outing of footy, and he'll have to do it all again and pick himself up. That one's a good tester for the knee.
Yep, that's right. Just a little quick one.
So tossed up. Sam Naismith wins his first hit out. Got it down to the captain there, Bell. His handball ineffective. Bastanak good for the Lions. Brisbane forward 50 entry again. Bounces out the back. Armity just can't reel it in. And play will be reset.
Just mopping up their arms here. The kick missed the target. There was nothing up the line. He did well just to escort that one out of play. Tossed in.
Naismith winning this one down. Bastanak couldn't quite find it for Brisbane. Extracted nicely by Smith. Bastanak the target. McInerney flicked a handball out for the Swans. Oh, searching handball. Couldn't quite find the running player there. Thorne, the Lions forward defensive pressure. Outstanding again. Charging through Joyce. Picked it up. Stood up in the tackle. Umpire circles.
Oh, just really
says, give it to me.
Defensive pressure there from the Swans. Just wrapped him up. Wasn't going anywhere.
So Naismith winning another one down. Smith for Brisbane is wrapped up in a tackle and it will be tossed up. So a bit of a slow kind of start to this second quarter. Naismith, he's been winning all of the ruck battles at the moment. Ball spills free. Toby Pink wrapped up in a really strong Cedric Cox tackle. And it will be tossed up again. The Swans defence standing up here. Quite a young defence. Quite a lot of academy players out there for the Bloods today. As Naismith won it down, snapping around the body. Bastanak towards the top of the goal square. Fisted away down there by the Swans defence, rushing it through. And first score of this second quarter is a behind. As Jackson Thurlow has footy in hand to bring it in. He'll look to waste no time. Bringing up the broadcast side here at the Bisp, looking for Menzel. Went up, couldn't quite mark. Pressure really good there from Nick Robinson at ground level for the Lions. Kick came to the goal square in the end.
Just didn't have a tall target there. It was a 2-on-2 contest there from some not too tall players as we leave 50 here.
So really good kick there. McCallum found Braden Campbell on debut. Kicked a goal earlier. Love to see that for the Swans. Big contest here. Picked up by the reality star in Eagles. Kicking it long to the impossible pocket. Pink's use of the body was really good. And it will be tossed in. The reason I call that the impossible pocket, because I reckon I've seen 1 goal kicked there all season in a bit over half a dozen games.
Oh, it is a tough pocket, that one. Just something about it. The players just don't like lining up from there.
So tossed in again. Naismith pushed out of the rucking contest on this occasion. Coleman came charging through. Handball ineffected for Brisbane. Bending over to pick it up, Sam Thorne. Been pretty impressed by his game so far. The pressure comes inside 50, and that's a really nice, ugly drop punt kick if there is such a thing. That to keep going. Fullerton's handball cut off in the end by Armity. Flicked it out to Menzel. Menzel's got to go quickly and does. Under the arm, McInerney. He'll take a bounce. He can take 2. He's got the pace. He can take 3. He does. Takes number 4. Does he? No. Flicks a handball over the top looking for James Bell. He got an unkind bounce. The Lions with numbers. And there'll be a free kick for Brisbane just for a hold after the footy came out. There's really exciting stuff there. Justin McInerney up the wing.
With the Jets up the wing there. Got a little bit of a shepherd from his teammate, which just helped him get a little bit further. They just couldn't get the inside 50 entry there as we go through the lines in the middle.
So it came out to the captain for Brisbane. There is a Brisbane player down off the ball. Get you to have a look at that one, Chris.
Yeah, we'll continue watching this one.
As it's on the wing at the moment, the I Love Blacktown wing. Short kick, yeah, really nice. Ryan Lester in possession. Transferring play across to half-back. So Brisbane just slowly working it across half-back as that player makes his way towards the bench. Nick Robertson got it. Short one, really nice. Starcevic. Chip up was good. So the Swans have flooded the defensive 50, as you do in this sort of situation. Jack Payne with it. Long one. Big pack of players fly. Fisted away towards the boundary line, and that's where the footy goes.
Tom Fullerton there was the Brisbane Lions player who was down injured. He's now on the bench, just catching his breath. Just seemed to have the wind knocked out of him a bit there. Being assessed by the doctors now, but I imagine he'll return. He didn't look too bad coming off there. Big
day for Tom Fullerton today. Archie Smith, one of the outs for Brisbane, injured. He's had a really good year at NEAFL level, as it's one down this time by the other man with a big day today, Sam Skinner. But the Swans, they've got numbers across half-back. Cody Hurst marked it unopposed only by his teammate. Kick was cut off. Cox picked it up. Really good tackle from Wicks. Brisbane with numbers. Corey Lyons. The advantage will go his way. The Swans crowd not a fan of that call. Toby Wooler's handball was nice. Came to Joyce. Joyce inside 50. Chipping kick. Very good. Connor Ballenden will mark. 40 out. No wind to speak of here at the Bisp. Shouldn't have a problem from this distance.
Really positive play there. Lions really structured there moving forward, hit the man on the lead. Although it is from your impossible pocket, though, out there on the far side.
A bit straighter than the impossible pocket. He's kicked one earlier, Ballenden. I think it was the first of the afternoon. Begins his approach to take it to a 17-point ball game. Drop punt on the way. Goal umpire, a bit of work to do. Maybe it was inside that boundary of the impossible pocket.
We'll go out there, we'll measure it, the tape measure.
So score check. 4-3, plays 2-4. The Lions with the only 2 behinds of this second quarter. Hopefully you're enjoying this one on NEAFL TV, wherever you're watching, as the kick-up's good. Landed right in the bread basket of Menzel. Had a running player, goes to him. He'll take a bounce. He got lost in the turf, bounced on a bad length. Stayed low, it's bashed out wide to Hamish Allen. Wasn't quick enough with it. Corey Lyons inside 50 for Brisbane. Under pressure, Rose got a hand to it. Pushed off the footy. Ballenden there for Brisbane, but Rose hanging out the side did well. Received the handball. Short one's good to Zach Foote. He wants to go through the corridor. Risky business. Naismith. It'll test him at ground level. Did well in the end. Came back the way of Wicks. Wicks through traffic. Handball cut off. Good pressure there from the Lions. Wicks second, third, fourth effort. Really good. Tom Berry's given some of his own medicine. Tackled into the turf. And it will be tossed in. I say his own medicine because he's an outstanding tackler.
There's been some great tackling pressure so far this game. They've looked really strong, both teams, when tackling.
He's 5th in the competition for tackles coming into this round, Berry. 82 of them for the year. And Brisbane have got a free kick here. They'll waste no time. Flicks the handball off to the running Starcevic. Goes long to the pocket. Armity, good use of the body. Toby Pink was with him. That was really good team defensive work there from the Swans. So the kick comes up the line. Thorne. So Thorne looking to go through midfield. Really measured kick. Rayner. Kick up and mark. This is nice stuff from the academy kids. Campbell on debut. Long one to half forward. Menzel the target. He got a really nice bounce. Tapped it to the running Naismith. Can he welcome himself back to footy with a goal? It will bounce through.
Oh, Naismith. Well done. Welcome back to footy, Naismith. After so long out, the boys are all getting around him. All the back line are coming down. Congratulations, Sam Naismith.
Just persistence there for Sam Naismith, wasn't it? It wasn't in the air. He had to do the hard yards at ground level. 40 out, and it just trickled towards goal.
Oh, the big 206cm ruckman did well there and got a favourable bounce and right across the line. Naismith, well done.
Did his knee in March of last year, ACL. As he comes to the bench, the crowd appreciate him. ACL in training on the eve of the 18 season, missed all of 18, been a really long recovery process.
The Swans would love to have him back in the senior side as well. When he was injured, he was the first choice ruckman, so they'd be hoping he'll get a good run here and hopefully feature at the end of the season.
I think maybe string one or two NEAFL games together just to get a bit of mileage into the legs, as the relief ruckman Michael Knoll did well. He tapped that one down the throat of the captain Bell. Spills out wide. They've got the running player there, Cody Hurst. He's had a pretty impressive first half for Sydney. Inside 50. Swans have numbers. That's an awkward, ugly underground sort of kick into space. McInerney reeled it in, tackled without it. Advantage paid the way of the Swans. Came to the academy player. Handball over the top to Menzel. He doesn't miss these, Daniel Menzel. And the Swans have scored, have levelled the scores here at the Bisp.
The Swans have been on a roll here. Two really quick goals. 1-2. They're back in this game. The pressure from midfield's been really good. The forwards have had a little bit of luck too, getting on the end of them. But Menzel there, very impressive up forward, just showing his composure, just to kind of check side that one with his right foot. Really good play, Swans.
Missed one in the first quarter in a similar kind of circumstance, did Menzel. Cannoned into the goalpost. That time just took a little bit more time to compose himself, as you said there, Chris. And
absolutely. Just as we check in on the disposals again, Lions for the Brisbane Lions, 12 disposals. He's the leading disposal getter on ground. Second best disposal on ground, Sydney Swans James Bell with 11. So Lions having an outstanding game so far.
So, ball pinged into the turf. Watch Noel just bash this one forward. As good as a kick almost. Well, one of my kicks anyway, because they don't travel that far. That's why the Lions will be able to go forward again. And that's a strong mark taken at half-back there. Connor Flanagan. So Flanagan has a look forward. Played in last year's NEAFL Grand Final when the Swans went down to Southport Sharks. As the kick came out the way of Pink. A long one. It'll bounce in front of Leicester. Kept his feet nicely. Could have been tripped. Umpire said, nah, you're gone out of play.
Swans almost looked like they tackled each other there. It looked a bit awkward going across the line. 3 men going to ground. And the ball comes in from the boundary umpire.
So the Swans with the momentum shifting goal to the man on the comeback, Sam Naismith. They've now put 2 on the board in a row. Scores are level. Came out the way of Noel. Wrapped up in a tackle. And it will be tossed up again. Half forward for Sydney. Came out the way of Rose. Inside 50. Cut off. Brisbane with numbers if they can get one out wide. Robertson the target. He'll mark. Wanted to go to Coleman. Sold some candy nicely through midfield. Good looking kick. Chance here from Brisbane. Smith got it quickly to the running Lions. Lions from 60 out. Poor kick. Turned it straight over to Pink. So Pink across half back. And the Swans build something here. They got Rose out on the I Love Blacktown wing. Marks pretty comfortably, but the Lions defence have set up well. As his kick comes in board. Really good kick in the end, and it's marked there by Hamish Allen, the Manly bomber. Inside 50, bombing away. Lions defence good. Joyce was thereabouts. Couldn't quite find the handle on it, so one of his teammates did well. Eventually it came back to Allison. Allison's kick's good. And that finds Sam Skinner. So Skinner's kick up the wing's good.
Good to see Skinner getting involved. He is getting beaten in the ruck contest, though a little bit undersized. The two ruckmen for the Swans, 205 centimetres, both Noel and Naismith. So it's good to see him getting on the end of a kick there, because it's a hard day for him in the ruck.
So the Swans have marked off really well. It's one-on-ones right up the ground. Smith goes long to a contest. Big fly from Armity. Couldn't quite mark. The Brisbane player went without it. Eventually it will come that way of Cox. Flicked a handball that's... He was actually out of play, I think, when that all happened. So it will be tossed in front of the scoreboard, which reveals it's 4-4 apiece. The Swans with 2 goals in this quarter. Brisbane with 2 behinds.
Yeah, Brisbane really being challenged here. Something that they haven't had a lot of this year so far. Undefeated, as we said in the pre-match call. It'll be interesting to see what happens from here.
So tossed in, Rose, it just bounced off his chest. And it will be tossed up once again. Swans at half back. Noel winning this one down. That's a really good tap down. Got a long kick out. I think it was foot in the end, and clears the fence on the heart of the I Love Blacktown wing.
It's been a little bit messy here the last couple of minutes. Just no one really being able to string some play together. It's just kind of been stuck on that far wing.
So Brisbane work it forward to where it has been. That one fell through the hands of a Brisbane player and into the hands of a teammate. It's been paid a mark. Just having a look around for the right target. Swans defence have got back well. Kicking to a pack of players. Out the back, Skinner couldn't mark at ground level. Swans defence good. Pressure from Smith was okay. Armity, kick out of the pack. Bashed out there by Noel, a mid-season recruit. Flicks a handball off. They've got running players. Here's James Rose, the late inclusion today. Kicked up to the wing. He's got a player there in Jackson Barling. Did well. He composed himself. Goes inboard. Risky kind of kick. Went through the hands of Tom Joyce for the Lions. It's picked up out the back. Nice little kick. Finds Smith. Smith to the I Love Blacktown wing. Fullerton. Kick up the wing. Overcooked it just a little bit, but he'll have time to recover. Ducking and weaving Berry. Very nice stuff. Inside 50. And his kick goes up on the hill, and it will be tossed, and it will be a free kick to the Swans.
It's interesting to watch the Lions' forward structure here. They've been trying to isolate Pink deep with Ballenden. Just been trying to drag him back to the goal square to make it a real one-on-one contest. Pink's been playing well so far today, so they must think that Ballenden's just got the one-on-one body strength over Pink.
Long kick, it will go over Leicester's head. Noel, I think it was, did well. Got a kick up the heart of the I Love Blacktown wing. Came out to Allison. Kick up long. Rose will plant himself under it. Berry too. Good strong mark there. James Rose, half back flank.
Rose coming up for his 12th disposal here. He's been very consistent today.
Just blazed away a bit in that first quarter out of defence, so want to hit a target here. Went to a 2-on-1 situation. The one was Menzel, couldn't quite win it out. Corey Lyons, another touch for him. Came out to Caden Coleman. Kick, long one up the wing. Swans defence again with numbers. Handball came the way of Brewer. They've got time here, the Bloods, to just work some possession between them as Menzel marks at half forward. It's a 3-on-2 forward 50, so you'll want to go quickly. Goes to a 2-on-1. Ball fisted down, had time to recover. Handball back inboard. Foot ducking, weaving on the right boot. Good looking kick. Really good mark there, Josh Rayner.
Oh, that was really great play there from the Swans. Straight up the wing. Just worked their targets really well. And Foot, he's been outstanding so far this match. That was his 10th disposal. Foot is looking sensational so far this game. Really showing he has some talent there.
So, Josh Rayner in his 4th NEAFL game for the season. He's kicked 2-2, the North Shore Bomber. Begins his approach. Drop punt. Misses to the right, but the Swans are up.
Oh, that's right. That handy point. It might be a little bit too early to say that, but Rayner didn't get the goal there, but he's a really highly touted product, the Sydney boy.
Just leaned back on that one a bit, didn't he? Didn't have his head over the footy as he followed through as the long kick comes. Wooler will fly, hanging out the back, Skinner. Well done, Bastanak. Off hands, Wicks. And it will eventually be tossed up half forward for the Swans. So Brisbane, they've marked off well. One-on-one's pretty much everywhere the eye can see. Joyce came charging through, bending over to pick it up. Matheson did well. The Swans' defensive pressure really good across half forward.
Naismith has only spent this game, so this quarter of the game in the match so far, already 7 hit-outs.
And he'll have a chance to make it number 8 here. He does, really nice. Couldn't quite find the captain there, Bell. Came out to Robertson. Bell's tackling pressure good, so it's hacked to half forward. Berry was there. He's been identified. He was well held. Charging through with a head of steam there, McFadgen. Wicks was good too. Brisbane with numbers here, but they just can't quite find the handle on it at the moment. There's a bit of a scrum developed. Bastanak doing some tackling.
Both teams bringing a good intensity in midfield right now. Swans are getting the first use of it from their ruckman, but their midfielders arguably being slightly outplayed here by the Lions.
So Naismith won that one down, ducking through the pack. That was really nice by Thorne. Came out to Bell. Bell weighs up the situation, then goes long. Inside 50. Big fly from behind, and on the third attempt, nice mark taken by Starcevic. Love to know his numbers when you have a chance, because I think he's had a pretty good first quarter.
Starcevic's disposal so far, that's number 9.
So, short one to Allison. Allison will give it back to Starcevic, so he'll make it number 10 in the first half.
Just racking them up nice and easy there.
Has a look forward, not much doing. Joyce provides the lead. Coming off the bench, Lester. So, Lester marks. He had Lyons up the line. That ignored. Toby Wooler, who'd perhaps like to be pressing a little bit further forward. Known goal kicker Wooler. His kick comes to Starcevic. He'll make it 3 in this line of play.
Yeah, the Blacktown Sportspark groundskeepers won't be too happy. They're wearing out the grass in that section of the ground. Plenty of short kicks.
Comes to Noah Cumberland. Played in the Allies. Geez, that's a steering kick, but it's cut off by foot. Chance for the Swans on the rebound. Picked up by Rayner. Rayner, he's got players who want it long. Eventually goes that way. Campbell's the man. 3-on-1 situation. The young man on debut couldn't quite mark. Good pressure from Menzel, but the Lions, they've got the numbers across half back. Here's the in-form man in the NEAFL, Corey Lyons. 43 touches last week against the Gold Coast. Had half dozen, and that's a poor kick. Cut off by Rose. He's got Menzel long in the pocket. Goes that direction now. Menzel didn't take his eyes off the footy, and that is a sensational mark for the former Cat.
Just knew exactly where to go. He kind of dropped into the hole. Took a nice, easy chest mark against 2 players. The kick was to his advantage, which is all you can ask for as a forward in that position. And you'd think he'd definitely kick this. He's lining up for it. Looks like he's going to take a little bit of a snap around his body.
Inspired by Stevie J, probably taught by the master as well. Menzel reels around, left foot, snap, snuck it in. The Swans are out to a 7-point lead here at Blacktown. Outstanding stuff for the Swans. They've come to play in this second quarter.
That's Menzel's second goal there. He's got 2 goals, 1. He's looked quite dangerous for the Swans up forward. Arguably one of their only forward targets. They've got a lot of academy kids up there, so a lot of inexperience, and you've got the experienced Menzel there. He's definitely been valuable for them this match. Probably should have been 3 goals if you, at that one point, hitting the post early in the game. But out of full forward, he's done very well for himself so far.
So hopefully you're enjoying this one on NEAFL TV. Wherever you're watching, let us know where you're watching from. It's a pretty exciting game of footy. Checking with our R&D department at the moment. Not sure if the Lions have lost a quarter of footy this year as it's bounced back into the middle. They're on track to lose this one at the moment. Joyce let that one through as we tick into time on. Goes long to half forward. Brisbane with numbers. Spoiled away really nicely there by McFadden. He's had a pretty good game. Wrapped up in a tackle, holding the footy. Advantage Sydney. They'll go through midfield. Here's the dual goal kicker today. Menzel wants to go quickly. Why not? He's got Bell running forward. Good mark taken. That was gutsy stuff from the debutant. Campbell will get 50. He was knocked over by his captain in the contest, so perhaps a little bit lucky that 50-metre penalty.
Yeah, just a little bit clumsy there. Definitely nothing untoward, just a little bit of clumsy play there. It's just unlucky. He cleaned him up, and the umpire, red hot on that, called it straight away.
So Braden Campbell, first game, kicked 8 goals in 4 NAB League games earlier this year for the Swans. Kicked 1 in the first quarter. Now he's got 1 in the second quarter. The Swans, the Sydney Swans, they have opened up a really nice lead here at Blacktown International Sportspark. And it is out to a 7-point lead.
A situation the Lions haven't been in much this year.
13-point lead as the scoreboard catches up with us. Sorry, Chris.
Excellent, yeah. The Lions haven't been in this situation very often this year. Just dealing with the Swans, really structured forward 50 entries this quarter in particular. The Lions, undefeated so far this year, will be a little bit nervous as we resume play here.
So the Lions have just kicked the 2 behinds this quarter. Sydney have gone on a goal-kicking spree.
Zach Foot's also been very good. 4 inside 50 so far this game. They're racking up some good numbers of kicks inside there.
So it was Eagles doing a bit of ruck work on this occasion for Brisbane. It was Lions wrapped up in that tackle. Handball came the way looking for Smith. He's wrapped up in a tackle. How good has this Swans defensive pressure been today? Couldn't quite get it away there, McCalla. Brisbane, though, they've got numbers through midfield. They'll work a string of handballs, and there's a free kick, advantage the way of Brisbane, and they'll have a set shot the way of Corby Lyons.
Just looked like Rose behind play. They're just a little bit enthusiastic with the tackle, brought him to ground late, a little bit of heavy contact with the ground, which is what that free kick was paid for. But Rose, very interesting. He's been seeming playing off the halfback when he hasn't been in midfield. I think 7 rebound, 50 exits from Rose so far, which is a match high. Has been very impressive so far.
So Corby Lyons kicked one in the first quarter. The Brisbane haven't kicked one this quarter, and they still haven't kicked one this quarter. That one spraying to the right-hand side of the stick. So the Swans dominating proceedings here at Blacktown. Hopefully you're enjoying this one on NEAFL TV as Foot puts his hands up to protect him from the sun. Menzel was watching the footy. Got a kick to the wing. That was good. Flicked a handball out wide, but there's a den of Lions just waiting. A pride, if you like. That one going inside 50 by Griffiths, but it's cut off. Really good mark, James Rose. He was a late inclusion today. And his footy this afternoon, or this morning rather, just shows that he probably could match it at AFL level, as he'll get 50 for a late hit.
Yes, Dean Garraway much to upfield. It was really good there. He knew the contact was coming, just dropped into that hole, took the mark. So he's definitely had to earn that 50-metre penalty there.
So the R&D department, led by Jess Webster at the NEAFL, has got back to me. The Lions have lost a couple of quarters this year. There was a bit of chat pre-game downstairs where the Swans were, Brisbane haven't lost a quarter this year, but they have lost a couple. They lost one to the Giants, and the Swans actually took a quarter off them earlier this year too, but Brisbane obviously taking home the cookies. 13-0 at the moment. Joel Armity just happy to take some time off the clock, put it inside 50. Packer players, the Swans though, they've got numbers. Over it was Naismith. Kicked a goal in his comeback game earlier this quarter. And it will be tossed up. We spoke about it, Chris, before quarter time. The structure of the Swans forward 50 wasn't that pleasant to look at in that first quarter as it come out the way of Lions, handballing over the top. They didn't talk, but it worked out okay. Bastanak, he's got a teammate running. He'll just blaze away. Toby Pink will park himself underneath it, back with the flight. Courageous stuff. Good stuff, McFadgen. He did really well there for the Lions. Flicked a handball back to Wooler. Wooler back again to Ballenden. Long to half forward. The Swans will have the numbers if the footy came out the back. Lions picks it up, wrapped up in a Zach Foot tackle. Good pressure too there from Brewer, but it's a free kick. Sorry, it was Jackson Thurlow laying the tackling pressure.
Yeah, got lucky there. 2-on-1 contest in the end. Just caught the high contact. Line up for goal here. Oh, and 50
for not going back on the mark. So they hadn't kicked a goal this quarter, the Brisbane Lions. They'll certainly get one now, and we'll be back to a 6-point ball game here at Blacktown in what is fast becoming one of the games of the season today. Corby Lyons puts in his second of the afternoon.
Corby Lyons, very good. The 17th disposal for him. He's been very good this match. But just back onto your point before about the Sydney Swans forward structure, it's been varying a bit for me. It's been a little bit inconsistent. They've been playing Menzel out of deep forward, full forward, if you will, but in their flood where they've been moving up the ground, a lot of fast breaks. There's been no one inside forward 50, and that's when they don't look as structured. When they get structured entries with their players in there, they're just doing really well, and they're getting marks inside 50.
Hopefully you're enjoying this one on NEAFL TV. There's a few Brisbane Lions fans I see just jumping off the bandwagon early, saying they haven't bought their A game today. They're certainly in this contest. Plenty of AFL listed players out there, and there is a ton of Swans who are academy prospects and perhaps draft prospects that will be looking to really stamp their authority on this game in the second half of this one. So stay with us on NEAFL TV. It's a 6-point lead at the moment to the Swans.
That's Matt Eagles lining up there in the ruck against, I think that's Noel out there currently, so tough assignment right there.
So the Reality Star versus the mid-season pickup. The Reality Star wins this one down. Of course, on the recruit. Played for North Ballarat in the VFL before being picked up by the Lions. As that one comes down, McInerney charging through, wrapped up in an Eagles tackle, holding the ball.
Just took them on, didn't need it there, just need to get that hand pass out. Just got monstered by Eagles.
So the Lions, they hadn't been held goalless in a quarter for the season. It almost looks that way this quarter until Corey Lyons got marched up the ground for that 50. Smart stuff there for Brisbane, inside 50. Chip up and kick. Cedric Cox lurking, couldn't quite do the quick stuff at ground level. And he's wrapped up in a Joel Armity tackle, and it will be tossed up here at Blacktown. Perfect day for football in Sydney's West. Not a cloud in the sky, not a breath of wind. Sun out shining, meant to get to 21 degrees this afternoon out here as it comes to Corey Lyons. He was taken high 1, 2, 3 times. Umpire says no, holding the ball.
Yeah, the head certainly just went back there. Not high contact was definitely implied, but
umpire
paid.
Probably blindsided by it, in fairness to him.
Yeah,
as Bell worked it really quickly. McInerney, half back for Sydney. Ignored a lead from foot, goes to the I Love Blacktown wing. As the Swans will come through midfield, cut off there. Really nice fist from Cedric Cox. Wicks was pushed off the footy, picked up by the skipper. He's been everywhere today. James Bell, long one to half forward. Allen will do a bit of muscle work from the ground, but it's well marked there by the Lions.
Yeah, Bell, 13 disposals so far. He's the fourth leading goal kick on ground. Lions with 17, leading the way for the Brisbane Lions so far.
So Allison, kick across half-back, really good. Finds Lester. Lester's got a paddock to work with. He'll charge up the wing. He's got Ryan Bastanak there. His kick's really good. They're going here, the Lions. The Irishman to Robertson. Robertson to the pocket. His kick couldn't quite find a target, but not a bad result for Brisbane late in this second quarter as the clock ticks over to 30 minutes gone.
You'd take that, but at the same time, you'd be a little bit disappointed moving forward there. They had the numbers everywhere on that wing. Really fast transition. Just couldn't find the target inside 50. And while it's not a bad result being the throw-in, definitely they'd be upset they didn't find a mark there inside 50.
Brisbane in attack. Trail this one by 6 points, and that will be the half-time margin. Great first half of footy from the Sydney Swans as Brisbane look to equal the NEAFL record for the most wins in a row. That record is held by the Sydney Swans, who went from round 2 2017 to round 17. They'll want to protect that heritage of 14 straight as the Lions seek their 14th straight win for the season. A couple of quick stats, Chris, before we have a break at halftime here at the Bisp.
A couple of big stats. So in the ruck, that's been the tale of the day. Sam Naismith returning 10 hit-outs so far. Michael Knoll absolutely dominant in the ruck, 25 hit-outs. While the Lions themselves, only a couple of players, Skinner with 3 hit-outs and Fullerton with 2, and Eagles with 1. So the ruck battle's been well and truly in the way of the Swans, giving their midfielders first use of the ball, with Rose leading the way, 14 disposals for the Swans, and Lyons leading the way for the Brisbane Lions with 17 disposals so far. So very impressive half of footy here from both sides.
I'd go and bang the jug on, make yourself a nice hot drink, or pack your bags if you're going to the SCG later this afternoon so you don't miss any of the action in this second half. It's half-time here at Blacktown International Sportspark. Sydney Swans leading the previously undefeated Brisbane Lions by 6 points. Welcome back to the Blacktown International Sportspark. We've got a game of football on our hands. This is Sydney Swans leading the undefeated Brisbane Lions by 6 points at half-time. 6-5 plays 5-5. Perfect day for footy here at Blacktown as players make their way back to positions for the second half. I'm Eddie Summerfield, joined by Chris Corby in commentary today. Chris, how do you see this second half unfolding?
The second half's been really... the first half was really interesting so far. The Lions being surprised here by a Swans team with quite a lot of top-ups. But second half, the younger legs may be overrun here by the Brisbane Lions, but only time will tell. The Swans have played an outstanding game so far and definitely have the upper hand in the ruck.
So it will be Sydney leading this game by one straight kick, kicking to the left-hand side of your NEAFL TV. It's Sam Naismith, comeback game, kicked a goal in the second quarter. He'll be doing the rucking duties against Nathan Eagles, and Naismith won that one down, but the Lions with numbers there, charging off the square. McInerney could have copped one high. Naismith, his follow-up work was outstanding, planting himself underneath at Bastanak. He's been really good for the Lions in their best, marks really strongly in front of Rose. Kick out wide is a good one. They bring it back inboard now. Ballenden picking it up. Bastanak, good again. Brisbane to half forward. Pink back with the flight. Went over the head of everyone. But pushed out there was Connor Ballenden, and it will be a free kick the way of him. He had a pretty good first half. A little bit quiet in patches, but provided a real good option up forward.
Yeah, it has been quite consistent so far this game. As he looks inboard, top of the square.
So chipping it kind of kick. Defence was really good by Sydney, and it's fisted out of play where it will be tossed in.
Yeah, that was a huge Sam Naismith fist. Just absolutely belted that one out of play as hard as he could.
It's really been the scoring end of the ground. The right-hand side of your NEAFL TV. As it's tossed in again. Naismith winning that one down. At ground level, I think it was the Brisbane Lions did well. Tackling pressure good from Thurlow. Umpire circles and will call for it.
It's really been a trademark of the Swans game so far this match. Up in defence, they've just been all over the Lions forwards whenever a loose ball's in play.
Tossed up again. Skinner did well. Bit of pressure. The Swans' defence, though, they're standing up again. I think it was Flanagan who got a kick. It ricocheted to the moon and back. Rose planted himself underneath it. Did well. Although the Lions, they've got numbers. Charging through. Menzel kicked a couple in that second quarter. Flicks the handball out the way of Captain Bell. And Captain Bell's kick smothered out of play.
Menzel's looked really good when he's had the ball. He's got the ball a few times on half back for the Swans. Just looks like he's got some time and space, which just goes to show what that experience he has had. And hit the pass quite well there, but James Bell out of play.
Tossed in, Lions half forward. Naismith and Eagles went over their heads. McInerney picked it up, went back through to the pack. Eagles wraps him up in a tackle.
That was a crunching tackle right there. Naismith been tested a couple of times physically, but has held up.
He wins this one down again. They're dominating rucking proceedings. Archie Smith, if you have just joined us, he's out for the Lions today, injured. Which is where this game, the Swans have really dominated. Tossed up, Naismith just flicked it over his head and hoped. Lions were waiting there. Kick inside 50, big fly, and it's been paid, has it, or a push? Take your pick. And the Swans will get a chance to cleanly clear defensive 50. Armity in possession. Has a look up the field. He's got a couple of players leading towards the pocket. Ignored them. Wants to come up the corridor. Spearing kick. Cut off. Chance for Brisbane. Playing on. Shot at goal from Bastanak. Does it have the carry? It does. We're all square at Blacktown.
Picked his pocket there. Just saw the pass. Intercept mark. Play on. Goal from 48. It was a really good kick. Straight in front. Lions on here. There hasn't been much open play though this quarter so far. That was the exception just there. Just quick turnover and just bombed it home from near 50.
Interesting choice from Armity there. Could have come up the pocket and just the safe option out of defence. Thought he'd take the risk through the midfield and in the end didn't quite pay off.
Yeah, always a riskier play when you go through the middle there. It's an all or nothing play in many respects, and when you don't hit the target like that, you just get crucified on the rebound.
Hopefully you're enjoying this one on NEAFL TV. Thanks to Bar TV, wherever you're watching. Quite a few comments coming through. We'll get through a few of them. Bit of chatter about Big Macs or hash browns I noticed a bit earlier today. Has been a pretty good game of footy though. It's all square at Blacktown. Rose overran it. Good stuff again there. That was by Joyce. Got a handball out as the kick comes wide. Brisbane, Bastanak again. Bit further out from where he kicked the goal from. Called it forward to come to it, and he does.
Oh, clever kick right there. Just dropped it right into the space in front of him. I think that was Toby Pink as well there. The Swans defender just found a little bit wanting there on the lead, but Lions, great play there, moving inside 50.
Just Bastanak, just so smart. Called Sam Skinner, just give me a little bit of a lead and I'll put it on your chest. And that's exactly what the captain for the Lions today did. Begins his approach to give the Lions the first two of this third quarter. Drop punt on the way. Goal umpire. A bit of right to left movement and it's a behind, and Brisbane lead by that score now.
Bastanak having a really good quarter here. He's up to 26 disposals. It's outstanding the way he started this quarter. Been really influential early here.
So the Swans, a bit shell-shocked perhaps from this Lions start. Can they compose themselves? Menzel flew, couldn't quite bring it to ground. Braden Campbell, the debutant. Geez, he's been outstanding for Sydney. Just banged it long, bit of a hit and hope. Ryan Lester's there, got an unkind bounce. Hot on his tails, Cody Hurst, but Lester, cool, calm and collected. Transfers play to the reality star there in Eagles.
It's a bit of a shame with that 450 entry there. Just got the ball in the wing. There was absolutely no one forward of him.
Comes to Coleman. So Coleman at half back for the Lions. Just happy to slow things down. He'll work the footy back to Taylor. Menzel standing tight on the mark. Kick didn't quite have the carry. Chance here for Sydney. McInerney just shows it to the Lions who's standing on the mark. And then goes quickly to half forward. Menzel from the side. Big fly. Outstanding mark, Daniel Menzel. He'll be lining him up from the impossible pocket. Waste no time. Decides to centre it. Naismith in front. Couldn't quite mark. Chance here for the Lions defence. Toby Wooler with it. Flicks the handball out wide. They'll just run it. Allison went back the way of Wooler. Came out the way of Allison. That kick just stays in the line of play in front of McInerney. So the Lions, Chinese checkering out of defence. Really nice, fast stuff. Kick over the top's really good. Cox, he'll go to Skinner. Skinner to the open forward line. Good looking kick. Better looking mark. Toby Pink caught behind. And the mark is taken there as the Lions move it quickly. Cut off. Chance here for Fullerton. Came his way. Gave the handball back. Snapping around the body. Lions missing.
Shame there from the Lions. They worked that really well. That inside 50 kick was perfect to that lead. Toby Pink, again, found out position there, but just were trying to centre it when they didn't need to, arguably there. Just mucked it up, and they've got a point. That probably should have deserved a goal, that play. It was very good by the Brisbane Lions.
Just a little bit too disciplined in looking for teammates inside forward 50 as that kick bounces the way of Naismith. Flicked it out wide. That was nice. So the Swans on the march. Kick's a poor one. And it's cut off really nice there by Jacob Allison. Has a look, the former Lions Academy player, played at Aspley too. Long kick to half forward, hanging out the back Thurlow and Pink, but it's picked up by Berry. He loves third quarters here at the Blacktown International Sportspark. Flicked a handball backwards. Armity back with the flight, courageous. And just reeled the ball back into his chest.
Swans under fire here, just early in this quarter. We're just 8 minutes in now. It's been a lot of forward 50 entries there they've had to defend.
So the Swans with numbers at the fall of it. Naismith was just pushed off it in the end. Bit of extraction work going on there by Payne, but couldn't complete it, and it will be tossed up. So it's the Lions leading by 2 points. They've put couple on the board early in this third quarter as the handball from McInerney found Rose charging through. That was good. Cody Hurst, he's been good today for the Swans. Handballing, searching. Hurst wanted it back, but he won't get it. Short underground chipper. Campbell, Braden Campbell on debut. He's already kicked a couple, and his kick is really good. And the Swans will have a chance to reclaim the lead here at the Bisp. Sam Thorne lining up the big sticks at the moment.
Great play again by the Swans then up that far wing. Just spotting a good target just inside 50 there. Definitely excellent play there.
So he captained the Swans in the NAB League earlier this year. Thorne from 45. Beautiful kick at goal. Hits the post.
Just seemed like he leaned a little bit back on that kick there. Just got a little bit too airward in the air there, but a point. Not a bad result by the Swans because they've been under fire here early, but maybe they'll be able to turn one over here.
So back to a 1-point ball game here at Blacktown. Lions bring it in quickly. Here's Lions. 4-man of the NEAFL coming off 40-plus touches last week against the Suns. Goes long, searching for Ballenden. Big fly from Skinner. Couldn't quite mark. Armity was there waiting for it. Came back the way of the Swans. Just searching for some handball. Cedric Cox head over the footy. Did well. Dived in on top. Drags it back in. Umpire circles. Says, give it to me.
Shame their foot just wasn't ready for the handball received. They just had his back turned. Him square on the number there. If he was able to take that, it would have been probably inside 50 kick there to the top of the square.
So tossed up. Naismith wins that one down for the Swans. They've got numbers, but Corey Lyons, he knows how to find the footy. Goes long. Toby Pink, good use of the body. Fist didn't quite pay off as much as he would have liked. So here's a chance for Berry. Berry could take a bounce and go. There's no one inside forward 50. Weighs the handball up really nice. Lewis Taylor. Lewis Taylor has a look, realises he can't kick that far, so he'll stop, prop and deliver to Cumberland. Beautiful stuff. Cumberland will go over the top to Robertson, and that's a little bit too easy for the ladder-leading Lions.
Again, they showed why they've been so good this year, just then. Lions on transition, just using their numbers really well. And they've been doing that a lot today. They've been finding a mark just inside 50 and been chipping to improve. And they've done that again there, where they've caught the Swans defenders napping in some respects.
Really smart stuff for the Lions. Noah Cumberland, gutsy. Got it over the top to Robertson. It's a pretty good set shot at goal. 8 goals for the season. It's a slow, deliberate approach to take it out to a 7-point ball game. Make no mistake about that. Goal umpire does a little bit of the limbo, and the Lions extend their lead.
Oh, one thing that's really fed the Lions so far this quarter is Bastanak. He's got 26 disposals. He's been fantastic. Lions with 20. They've both been going really, really well so far. With Rose also 20 disposals for the Swans, but the Lions midfield has just been driving them. The Swans have been getting the taps with Naismith and Noel dominating. Naismith now up to 17 hit-outs. That's 7 since half-time there. Their midfield has just been outworking the Swans.
So the Swans, can they find a response here? The way this game has ebbed and flowed, you'd suggest now's about time their momentum will shift the way of the Swans. Who'll be the spark to get it going? Bell has been that man. He's in the middle at the moment, lining up against Bastanak. And we'll redo that bounce. Just quite a skill bouncing it away from the centre wicket area here at Blacktown. As Chris Brackenrig calls for it back. Ruckman do battle again. Interesting stuff from Skinner. A bit of a 360 stuff. Noel was good. He's been really good today. The Swans work it forward again. Fisted away. The Lions have numbers 3 on 2, so they'll work a handball, banging it on the right boot, long kick, back with the flight, courageous stuff. I think it was the Swans player. Really good stuff by Cumberland. Cumberland off the ground though, in danger every day of the week. And the free kick is there for James Rose. Rose on the right boot. He sees a player right on a good length. Couldn't quite mark on that occasion. Could have been a free kick. Umpire called play on. Flicking the handball forward on that occasion was Hurst. Swans with numbers. McInerney from 60. Goes long to the tip of the goal square. Menzel the target. Bouncing ball missing.
I was just a bit hot there for him. Just came in a little bit too quick. Menzel's been pretty good with finding the right space and being able to use his body to protect the ball there, but just not on that occasion. Pass a little bit too hot for him, but the Swans get another chance here. And we'll have first use of it with Noel, I believe, will be the ruckman here.
7-point lead for the Lions. The Swans led it by 6 at half-time. And there'll be no addition to the score as umpire Dean Garraway crosses himself, and we'll have it tossed up. Sam Wicks and Nick Robertson pick themselves up off the turf. Skinner and Noel. Apologies there, it was Hamish Allen doing the ruck work. Skinner got a rush kick out towards the boundary line. McInerney wants to deliver it. How the umpires see it. Throw it in, thanks.
Swans are set up well here behind the play. They've got 3 loose defenders, just trying to keep it locked in. Lions are pushed up deep, just trying to defend at the moment, and the Swans have set up just to catch the net as the ball will exit 50.
So Michael Noel comes down and says, after that last rucking performance, give it to me, guys. I've dominated today. Playing in the sample earlier this year. Now finds himself on an AFL list. And it will be tossed up again.
Heavily congested so far this quarter as well. Plenty of ball ups in general play.
Noel got it down, charging through was Bell. Couldn't quite find the handle on it. The Lions players did. Handballing into space. Lions through traffic. Did really nice. Showed some footy. Gave it out to Bastanak. Matheson. Long one to half forward. Toby Pink there. Berry too. How will it bounce? Pink did really well to just slap it towards the boundary line and force a stoppage. Because the Lions were on then if they could just get the footy their way.
Yeah, Lions have been doing a lot of choke and release today where they've just been really bringing the play up forward and then fast break, all players sprint forward. And that was a good example of it there where they just couldn't get on the end of it though.
So Noel and Skinner. Skinner will give the points to that time, but Noel went in and got the handball. McInerney had his head ripped off. Umpire agrees with me. Really good stuff there, Dean Garraway. Good call. And the free kick will go to McInerney. Short one. Armity likes to move it quickly. Gave it back to McInerney. He can run. He's going to have to show that dash and pace now through the midfield. Good looking kick. Pressure for it was good from Coleman. Lyons was waiting at the fall of it. Here's Caden Coleman. Draft prospect at the end of the year. Just waited and dished the handball off. The Lions with all the numbers. Noah Cumberland from 45. Drop punt on the way.
Oh, hits
the post. So the Swans, they'll look to move it quickly before the Lions have a chance to zone up. Rose's kick is a real good one. Picked up by Sam Wicks. Just has a look around. Risky kick back into the corridor. Zach Foot. So McInerney, broadcast wing. Got a paddock to work with, as you said there, Chris Corby. Comes to half forward. Fresh legs on the ground. There is McCallum. McCallum can go. Chipping, kick to half forward. Outstanding. Take your pick. They're lining up. Playing on quickly. Geddes to the pocket. Really good stuff from the Swans. Unselfish play going forward.
Oh, absolutely. The switch
they
there.
Play on quickly around the body. Naismith has got two in his comeback game.
And don't the boys
Snapping
love
and
it.
Playing on really quickly, and we're back to a 2-point ball game here at Blacktown.
Really good play there. It was all set up on the half back line there with that switch that went out to McInerney on the wing, had a paddock to work in and just hit several passes with the Lions defenders there were just found a little bit slow in transition there with Naismith marking almost uncontested in the pocket and showed the big man can snap.
Really, really good stuff there from a few of the academy guys. Just to have the smarts to go. Max Geddes really impressed by that effort. Spotted up the bigger body, closer to goal, easier shot at goal in Naismith. And that was a beautiful passage of play. Yeah, McCallum as well, who came charging off the bench. Just lowered his eyes. Could have gone long to Naismith initially, but then went the short option, drew the defence forward. And that opened up a bit more of the pocket for Naismith.
Well, absolutely percentage plays there by the Swans.
So back in the middle, 2-point ball game here at Blacktown. Hopefully you're enjoying this one on NEAFL TV, thanks to Bar TV. Charging through was Campbell, the debutant.
Bastanak has been running riot this quarter. He's up to 27 disposals now.
Naismith winning that one down. Here's another one if you can get a handball out there. Bastanak could have copped one in the back from the opposing captain in Bell. Umpire said no, which was probably the right call at the end of the day. Half forward for Brisbane. Naismith just threw Nathan Eagles out of it and gives away a free kick. The crowd don't like it.
It's a rare win for the Brisbane Lions to stay in the ruck. They're being monstered in those stats.
So Eagles to half forward. Big pack of players fly, reeling it in there. And a really good mark. Noah Cumberland, not too sure. Kicked it straight into the man on the mark. They're in Armity. Handball through midfield. Really nice. They've got players lining up. They just need to get the bounce to go their way. Lions did well. Stood up in the end. They'll work a couple of handballs up the I Love Blacktown wing. Then going long. Matheson the target. Picked it up. Got a bit of time to wheel and deal. Chip it up into the pocket. Now they've got to be careful here, the Swans defence. Man up, get goal side. Don't let an easy passing opportunity happen. Because we've seen that a couple of times today. As he's brought around on the mark. This too is a tough pocket to kick goals from. And the short little chipping kick there went pretty much to the umpire. Skinner went back to Lions. Handball came out. Lions still just looking to pass it. Good kick. Smith got into a bit of space for Brisbane, and he'll line up for goal to extend the margin to 8 points.
Yeah, that was smart play there. They unfortunately just couldn't hit that short kick, but they're able to work their numbers there and their forward pressure to find that secondary target. It's a lot closer to the goal than their original shot was from. I'd say he's a fairly good chance from here as well. He's quite a good kick.
So he's kicked 9-9. The Yarrawonga boy. He was part of the Giants Academy for a while there. Pick 21 in last year's draft, Smith. Comes in. Right foot drop punt is beautiful. Lions kick away back to 8 points here at the Bisp. Certainly got a game on our hands at the moment. The transition of play for the Lions, as it has been all season for that matter, from back to front has been really good.
Yeah, their leg speed's really good right across their list. They're able to bring every player forward into that defensive 50 and then break hard on the rebound, which is making it hard for Sydney today to kick goals when the ball's up forward, and then their players have got to work double time to get back and defend and stay goal side of their attackers.
So back in the middle. 8 point ball game. Blacktown, just when you thought maybe the momentum was back with the Swans, they couldn't quite snaffle a goal when they had it locked in their forward 50.
Interesting, I think this is Elam in the ruck here.
He's doing a bit down forward before, so coming in at 193 centimetres, the Manly bomber. Just his second game of the season in the NEAFL. 107 kegs too, so if he gets on a bit of a run, you don't want to be trying to be stopping him. Big unit. As Dean Garraway will toss it up this time. The Reality Star Eagles won it down, but it's crumbed nicely by Rose. Around the body it was touched, so Berry will have to go when he got it. Came out looking for Bastanak, couldn't quite find him. Here's the debutant, Campbell. They're loving him on NEAFL TV at the moment. His kick goes out wide. Foot race is on. Sam Thorne's there. He's the NAB League captain, of course, for the Swans earlier this year. Good second effort. Eagles came sliding in. The Reality Star flicks the handball back. Brisbane have numbers on the I Love Blacktown wing. Bouncing ball, and it's somehow kept in there by Kyle McCullough. Kick up the wing was good. So the Swans a chance to build from the I Love Blacktown wing. They've got players lining up across midfield. That will be ignored. It will go inside 50. Pack of players. Kick out the back. Pretty simple stuff there for Sydney. And the mark is very nicely taken in the forward pocket. Not happy with the angle. He's been set back on. Just in the back of his mind, he knows that I haven't seen too many set shots from this pocket this season. It's a tough spot to kick goals from. No wind to speak of here at Blacktown. On the runway. Drop punt on the way. Hits the post. The impossible pocket strikes again.
Lions will be looking to really do the fast rebound here again. Every player is in the Swans half right now, so I'll be looking to quickly slingshot this across.
It was Josh Rayner, the set shot, and there'll be no slingshot there other than from the Swans, who will be able to bring it back into their forward 50. Out of bounds on the full. Free kick to the Swans. McInerney. Jeez, have a look at how congested that forward 50 is. Resembles Parramatta Road. Big fly from Allam. Is it paid? It is. Hamish Allam, the Manly bomber, popping up. In fact, it's Josh Rayner.
Yeah, Rayner's just having a good couple of minutes here. He's been really good. He's marking both really strong overhead contested grabs. He's taken. This one is more of a gimme than the last one. Good pocket here.
191 centimetres tall. Missed that one a moment ago. This one missing.
He's just
so
been
a couple
let
of
down.
chances, Chris.
Yeah, just been let down there. If he kicked both of those, then you'd say he's been having a fantastic time of it. Just his foot skills letting him down at the present.
So it comes to Starcevic. Bit of a quiet period for him. He had a lot of it early. Underground kick. Comes forward. He's called to play on. Pressure was really good from Armady, holding the footy. Had prior opportunity, did Fullerton, when he took the mark. So the second he was tackled and got rid of it illegally, it was always going to be holding the ball. Joel Armady looking forward now. Long one. Big pack of players. Fisting away there was Payne. And it goes out of play in front of Toby Wooler. Tell you, big out today for the Lions is Ben Keys. He's 29 goals for the season, 4th in the competition, pops up, kicks 2 or 3 a week. Underrated player missing this weekend. Well, he's obviously been rated because he's playing in the AFL.
Yeah, it's just where are you going to get those goals from when someone's out of the team like that?
It's a lot of goals that you've got to go and chase. They do lead this one by one solitary kick, the Lions. They trailed at halftime by 6. It's bashed down the throat there of Bastanak, snapping around the body. Well marked there.
It's been quite a congested contest so far. Both teams, great pressure footy in both forward and defence.
That's one man who perhaps should be going forward. Toby Wooler, he's kicked 21 goals for the season, been playing across half-back today. Cut off nicely from Bastanak on the I Love Blacktown wing. He'll flick the handball over the top to Berry. Got Robertson alongside him, ignored that short chipping kick. Berry, what are you doing? Turns it straight over. So the Swans, chance to build off defence. Cut off this time, maybe one back. McInerney couldn't quite pick it up. Madden, the Irishman, comes in and kicks the simplest of goals. He's got 2 today.
Madden just picking McInerney's pocket right there. There's a risky switch right there. The Swans defender running across. He had no real targets on. He chose a risky kick and it resulted in a goal, unfortunately, for the Swans. But excellent play, Brisbane Lions. Brisbane stretching their lead now out to 12.
Impressive stuff, bit nonchalant from McInerney there. Maybe perhaps thought he had a little bit more time than what he in fact had. And the pressure was really good from James Madden.
Again, Bastanak has caught fire this quarter. He's 32 disposals now. He's come out of nowhere to top the game disposals. Next game highest is Rose on 25 for the Sydney Swans.
Back in the middle, Eagles doing the ruck work this quarter. Did well, flicked it back to Matheson. He's had an impressive game. The captain for Sydney, he also has. That's a spearing mark taken by Menzel.
Again, Menzel, that kick forward arguably wasn't terribly well placed. It was just put into a hot spot, and Menzel has the experience to know that ball's going to end up there. Took it on a lead. It was really impressive work.
Kicked 13 goals, 4 in his 5 games this season. Kicked 2 goals in the first half, both of them coming in the second quarter. To keep the Swans in touch in the shadows of three-quarter time, Menzel's banged a beauty.
The Swans desperately needed that. Lions just had a couple of goal run there, stretching the lead to 12, but the Swans bring it straight back as an instant reply there, back to 6-point game.
Really good stuff. We've commented on it a lot from James Bell out of the middle. Willingness to take the game on today. He got that centre clearance really nicely, and the kick, it was red hot. And lucky a man of Menzel's experience was there just to take it on the chest. He loved it the moment it hit his boot. As we see Smith and Corey Lyons come into the midfield group for Brisbane's Eagles there too.
We've been having some chats around the hit-out stats, but the Lions have been very good for the midfield, considering their ruckmen aren't giving them first use of the ball. I'll touch on this a little bit later.
So there is a Carroll for the Swans. Chance here again, Rose. Apologies there, Bell. Kick up forward. Couldn't be marked this time by Menzel. Brisbane have the numbers. Really nice little pick up and go from Taylor. Kick was nice up the wing. Cedric Cox marks on the second attempt. Has a look forward. He's called to play on. Really smart stuff from McInerney. He runs up the wing, put the footy under his arm, and he goes out of play. Smart stuff there, Justin McInerney. Was aware, heard the umpire called play on, that perhaps Cedric Cox did not.
Yeah, there's some really good
footy smarts. Put the pressure straight on.
Yeah, really good footy smarts there. Was paying attention. Wasn't just staying the mark, went up, put some pressure on. And
what I liked about it, Chris, didn't overcommit. He forced him to go to the boundary line and forced this stoppage as Eagles came from a mile back, won the tap down. McInerney was there, a really smart user of the footy to half forward. Good pressure from the Swans, picked up by Caden Coleman. He goes back, risky handball. Starcevic will have to run onto it. He's got Menzel hot in his tail. Starcevic, cool as a fish, just to put it under his wing and turns it straight over. Fish-like, if you like, upstream. Long, big fly from behind. Starcevic will get another chance here. Pressure came from Rose. Rose ran out of space.
He was on that, Rose. He wanted that ball so well. Brisbane's just had enough composure there to rush that behind, but Rose circling like a shark there.
So the Swans' pressure's certainly been there the past couple of minutes. It's 5 points the margin here at Blacktown. Hopefully you're enjoying this game wherever you're watching on NEAFL TV as it came out the way of Skinner. Hanging out the back there was McFadgen. Handball was really nice over the top. Have a look at them work it here. Here's Lewis Taylor. He can take a bounce. He can take two. Robertson provides a lead. That's ignored. He can take three. Can Taylor. Ran to 45. Lined up the big sticks. He's run too far, or it was a push. It's advantage. It's a goal.
Looked like a basketball player running up that wing. He was doing the he from Reece Shaw bounce every couple of steps. He was just bouncing away, and that was a fantastic fast break goal again on transition from the Lions. They've been so good at that today, just that choke and release, fast play.
Hungry to get back into the senior side. Played 5 games at AFL level this year. 112 for his career after a couple of really good seasons. And that was an outstanding goal. I thought, you mentioned there, he's taken a bounce every 5 steps, but then when he got closer to goal, maybe he travelled 16 metres, but he was pushed as he was kicked it.
Yeah, it definitely didn't affect the kick, straight through the middle. Lovely composure as well from someone who's just run close to 100 metres with the ball to slot it from that angle as well and from that distance. Really impressive.
So back to 11 points at the Bisp. Pinged into the turf. How good was that bounce? Eagles wins another hit out for the Lions. Overcooking it a little bit there. Smith couldn't quite find it. Bell, he went in and picked it up. Flicks the handball backwards to go forwards. And the kick goes straight towards the boundary line. If it wasn't such a shank, I think it would have been deliberate. But I think he was looking for a target. It just slid off the side of the boot.
That's right. It wasn't a pretty looking kick, but not a bad result for the Swans here, though.
So 30 minutes gone, third quarter. It's an 11-point lead the way of the Lions. They led by 10 at quarter time. The Swans got in front. They led by 6 at half time. And the Lions have fought back to kicking to the scoring end. And there's not much wind here. They lead it by 11 at the moment.
It just seems with this ruck dominance, the Brisbane Lions are going with Eagles in the ruck. Although he's not doing much, he's better in the midfield than Skinner.
A long kick. Pink did well from behind. Got a fist in there. Well picked up by Fullerton, goes out of play, and it will be tossed in once again.
Again, because on these hit-out stats, Knowles now up to 29 hit-outs and Naismith on 18. While the Lions, their top hit-out is Skinner with 5, so that's an incredible difference there. When you're talking, their midfield is just working that much harder than the Swans right now.
Came out the way of Lions from 55, set it high to the top of the goal square. Armity probably should have marked that instead of fisting it through out of play.
Yeah, just had a little bit more time than he realised there. Could have taken a good chest mark there, but instead just walloped it out of play.
Geez, there's loose Lions everywhere. They'll be going in for the kill when this footy comes in. One down by Knoll. Handball came out wide. Bastanak through traffic, threw it over the top. Umpire thought it was a really nice handball. Kick up to the top of the goal square, punched away from McFadgen there, and bit of deja vu. We'll do that again.
Yeah, Lions have really locked us in here.
There's loose players everywhere around this for the Lions, just waiting for it to come in. Tossed in, Skinner from behind. Knoll did well, went through McInerney's legs. Chance here again for Brisbane. Lions went without it. McInerney flicked it around his back. Bell was lurking, as was Foot. He'll be last man on that pack, and it will be tossed up. 40 out from the Lions' goalmouth. They lead by 11.
Swans just really feel like they're in survival mode here, just trying to keep it out.
McInerney, tackling pressure, good. Brisbane, though, with numbers. Good pressure from Foot. Bastanak.
Oh, ferocious there by Foot. Just got him and didn't let him go.
So can the Lions steal another one just before three-quarter time? Tap up. Bastanak came charging through. Pressure came from Wicks. Really good tackle, but the ball spilled free. Came into the hands of Armity. Just banged it on his boot to clear the zone. Hand in there. Allen through traffic. Shrugged the tackle, but the siren beats everyone to it. And it is set up for a grandstand finish here at Blacktown. It's an 11-point lead the way of the undefeated Brisbane Lions. They're chasing 14 wins a row, a feat only accomplished by Sydney in 2017. Can the Lions do it? We'll have the answers here in about half an hour's time on NEAFL TV. We'll take a short break from Blacktown. It is Brisbane leading by 11 points. an 11-point lead the way of the Brisbane Lions here at Blacktown International Sportspark, chasing to equal the competition record for most wins in a row set by the Sydney Swans in 2017. That would be 14 in a row. I'm Eddie Summerfield with Chris Corby in commentary. Chris, what have you made of this game so far? What can the Swans do to inflict Brisbane with their first loss of the season?
I think they've really got to get a hold of Bastanak right now. He has been sensational that third quarter. I think it was 12 disposals for that quarter. He is just having an absolute flyer in this last half, and he's the reason now that the Lions sit ahead. So if they get a hold of Bastanak in midfield, they're a very good chance of winning this game.
Umpire holds the footy aloft. Sam Naismith in his comeback game doing the ruck work for the Swans. They're kicking to the right-hand side of your NEAFL TV, trailing by 11 points. Been a cracking ball game. Eagles went up. Bastanak, Smith. Kick partially smothered. It will be called to go. Berry flicks the handball off nicely. Eagles there. Pressure really good coming from Flanagan. Flicked it out to the running Rose. Went back the way of McInerney, rather. McInerney to half forward. Inside 50. Long kick. Campbell underneath it. Couldn't quite mark it. Went off the ground. The debutant. Bouncing ball. Missing to the left.
McInerney just arched the back there, got away from his midfielder there and delivered it inside 50. Unlucky it wasn't a mark. Just rushed through for a behind.
It's been the scoring end to the right-hand side of your NEAFL TV this morning. Wooler could have been holding. Umpire called play on. Eagles picked it up. Geez, he's got a paddock in front of himself. He has a look up and gone, geez, that's a bit too daunting just to kick it into space. So he went back to Wooler.
The big man was after him there, Sam Naismith.
Robertson across field, Bastanak. So Bastanak has men on the I Love Blacktown wing. Just went with a searching handball. It'll come off all right. Well taken there by McFadden. Over the top, Matheson. So Matheson has a look. Had Berry. Cedric Cox is long in the square. Toby Wooler is lurking. He loves a sausage. Goes long now to a pack. Wooler searching. Pink with a fist. Bit of volleyball by the Swans' defence, but it will come back with a bit of interest from Bastanak, and it's smothered off the boot there by the Swans.
I found Pink really good in the air today. Whenever there's been a lofted ball inside 50, he's been really good in the air, just making sure he gets the spoil in or even the mark to intercept. He's been found on leg speed, which is strange for Pink because he's normally pretty quick.
Naismith winning this one down to the captain in Bell. Chance here for McInerney. Put it under his arm. Had Flanagan waiting for it. He's got a bit of space to work with the academy player. Goes long inside 50. Just kicking it to space, hoping Menzel will get the bounce. He's got the smarts to bash it in front of himself. Allison hot in his tail. Menzel kept it in front of him. Lost his feet, did Menzel, but he dragged it back in nicely. Didn't drag it in too far, though. The Lions' defence under pressure. They'll just slow things down. Robertson in the pocket on the other side of the goal front. Marks. Has Lyons up the wing. He'll go that direction now. It's a really good kick in the end and a better mark taken in front of Luke Parks there. So Lyons up the wing. Eagles there. Smart from James Rose.
Very brave by Rose. That's the second time he's done that today. Just back, knowing a player and the contact was coming. Potentially goal-saving spoil there on the wing because they would have been inside 50 there if that hadn't happened.
He was a late inclusion today for Ben Ronk, who's got the call up to the SCG as an emergency, I think. Tossed in again. Naismith winning that one down, looking for Wicks, couldn't quite find him. Really good use of the body there by the Swans. Came out to that man, Rose. Have a listen to the boom on the Bar TV mic then. It was huge as it went off the boot. Came out the way of Matheson for the Lions, just blazing away. The Swans with numbers. Pink, he dropped a rare one that he's taken all afternoon. The pressure's certainly mounting out there. Parks was cool. Cool as a cucumber. And he finds Rose on this occasion, standing all alone. Had plenty of it in this last quarter. She's spearing kick to Bell. It bounced off his chest. Thought it could have been paid a mark. Umpire said no. McFadden to half forward. Pink was lurking. Swans with numbers, but they're tumbling over each other. It's picked up by Lions. Vacant goal square, blazing away. Armady underneath it. Did well. Went over his head. Bouncing ball, Armady. Very hot on his chase. Ball bounces through. One behind.
Yeah, very unlucky that one didn't get paid a mark in the midfield there. Thought he maybe just had enough of it, but umpire said no.
So the Swans will bring the footy up in front of the scoreboard. Shows they're trailing by that three-quarter time margin of 11 points. It's been a tight one all morning into the early afternoon. The Lions with numbers across half forward. Can the Swans defence stop this passage of play? ducking and weaving. That will work okay. McInerney, head over it. Could have been pushed. He's dragged it in. Umpire says, no, let's toss that up. Half-forward flank for Brisbane.
Naismith seems to be playing a lot of minutes. The Swans are managing his minutes, and he's spent large portions of the game so far off the ground, but he's playing a lot.
Didn't come on until after quarter time, did Naismith, as he runs this one down to the running Bell. Handball was good. Bell kept coming, though. Cedric Cox wrapped him up in the tackle. Ball was knocked out. Umpire called play on. Cedric Cox could have copped one in the back. Umpire says no. Wicks picked it up. Matheson was there. Sorry, Starcevic was there for the Lions. Right on the heart of the I Love Blacktown wing. Evenly poised game at the moment. Who can draw first blood in this final quarter? Naismith in front of Sam Skinner. Doesn't quite want to pick it up, does the big man returning from injury.
That's a long way down.
Happy to do it again.
Long way down when you're 205 centimetres tall.
So, pleasing to see an even spread of players across both teams' half-forward lines as it's tossed in. Skinner will give him the points on this occasion. Matheson was good at ground level. And there was a free kick there for a hold on Luke Parks. Advantage paid the way of the Swans. Back with the flight. That was really good there by Thorne. Wanted to go quickly. Dispossessed. Lions with numbers at half back. Long booming kick. Armady underneath it. It was punched away from him, so he'll have to go and pick it up. Got an unkind bounce. Chance here for the Lions. Armady just did really well against Berry. Flicks the handball across. Parker wrapped up in a tackle. Just got his kick. Berry. He's just kept coming there, Berry. Gave it back to Cox. His kick smothered off the boot. Berry's pressure really good. Wicks through traffic. Just got his kick. He's got players running off half back. Can the footy bounce the way of foot? It does. Flicks the handball quickly to Barling. Barling wants to go quickly to half forward. Good mark taken. Swans, they'll just have a look up forward. Noel, been outstanding in the ruck, the mid-season recruit, and he's going to get 50. Jack Payne overstepping the mark for the Lions, and the mid-season recruit will be marched to 15 out, a chance to stem the margin back to 5 points.
Noel just baited him there. He just held the ball up. He was signposting exactly where he was going to hand pass it, but didn't leave his line. He was running up, just baited that defender into coming at him, and that's what resulted in the 50-minute penalty, and he could kick a goal here.
So his fellow mid-season recruit McLean makes his AFL debut at the SCG this afternoon. Noel to bring it back to 5 points. He's got it.
Noel's been very good this game. That's his 15th disposal there. His first goal of the game. He's had 33 hitouts, which is amazing. That's a huge stat. We're only 7 minutes through the fourth quarter here. And considering he's been sharing the duties with Sam Naismith for most of the afternoon, that makes his numbers even that more impressive. But he has certainly been dominant here at Blacktown.
So it was a bit of a question. There's a ton of academy players and guys under the age of 19 playing for the Swans today up against this all-conquering Brisbane list. Who'll have the legs to run out this game? The feeling would be Brisbane do, but can the youth of the Swans find a way in this last quarter? It's a 5-point ball game. Sydney, first goal of this final quarter. Naismith couldn't quite get a clean hit out. Matheson did the crumbing, did well. Lions on the I Love Blacktown wing just searching for a clean possession. It will be the Reality Star Eagles, held without it by Rose. Umpire called play on, didn't matter. Coleman got a kick to half forward for Brisbane. Strong mark taken, Toby Wooler. Love to see him get amongst it in this last quarter. Good kick. No, it was spilled down there. Still a chance for Skinner. Overran it. Armady did well. Ignored Thurlow, went back towards the boundary line, learnt from a mistake earlier in the game. Could have ricocheted off the boot there, out of play. Somehow is still in. The Swans with numbers did really nicely. The captain, Bell, really good. Kick to half forward. Allam crumbing out the back. The Lions under immense pressure at the moment. Picked up by one of those academy kids we speak of there, Geddes. He's had a pretty good game. Smith came charging through, the former Giants Academy prospect. Picking up the man returning from injury, Naismith. His kick was good up the wing. The Swans with plenty of run. Geddes eventually reeled it in. Handballed backwards. Cut off by the Reality Star Eagles to half forward. Picked up by Cox. Charging through. Went the handball to the running player there in Wooler. Wooler got the sand wedge out. Put it to the hot spot. 3-on-2 situation and the 2 wins.
That was a really strong overhead grab there. 2 men coming across, just out-positioned them and just took a fantastic grab.
So it'll be Sam Skinner lining up the big sticks. He's got the big C for captain against his name today. Brisbane lead this one by 5 points to take it back to 11. He's kicked 12 goals, 10 for the season. Begins his approach now to Skinner. Deliberate, drop punt, goal umpire moves, and it's a behind. So a bit of a let-off there for the Swans.
Interesting period here. The game's very tight, very close right now. And misses like that in games like this can really cost you. So we'll see what happens to the Brisbane Lions here.
That's a really good lead there, Sam Wicks, starting to come into it, but his kick just doesn't match up with the lead. And it goes out of play, and Brisbane will get a chance. Go and retrieve your own ball. A few on the hill there, just electing not to roll down to go and give Nick Robertson a hand. Has a look forward. What can he muster here? He wants to set something up. Doesn't back himself for the distance. Good luck marking that. Second, third, fourth attempt.
Oh, just found himself in the hole there and just dropped in his lap.
So, Reece Matheson. Outstanding mark from the Geelong Falcons.
Matheson coming up for his 18th disposal so far today. He's been quite busy today. He's been one of the Lions' best players.
He's a good set shot to take this out to a 12-point ball game. 7 goals, 2 for the season. Hasn't kicked one today, but he has now, and the Lions lead by 12.
Lions will be really happy with that. In a close game like this, they've got another goal on the board. And the match has been so close and so hard fought with the midfield. This might just give them the edge. We're only at the 11th minute mark of the fourth quarter. However, with a bit of a lead opening up now, you'd say they may have done enough, and the match conditioning of the more senior bodies of the Brisbane Lions might be holding up for them. But these young bloods are definitely coming.
So back in the middle. Hopefully you're enjoying this one on NEAFL TV, wherever you're watching. I think I caught a few off saying before that Wooler loves a sausage. Sausage being footy slang for a goal, as it's tossed up again in the middle. Eagles, geez, he's had a really good fourth quarter. Just bashing it forward for Brisbane. Lions got it out wide to Taylor. Kicked a good goal in that third quarter. Good use of the body. Skinner played on quickly. Goal coming up for the Lions. Ballenden bangs it through.
Oh, they've just gone bang, bang. 1-2 really quickly here. 2 fast goals from the Brisbane Lions. They're out to a 3-goal lead now. Bastanak, again, just to check in on him. He's going to crack 40 disposal, you think, today. Again, he's got 37 currently. He's been brilliant for them. The Swans' best so far, James Rose, 29. He's had a little bit of a quiet quarter. He's only touched it a couple of times, but Bastanak has been everywhere this second half.
Menzel coming to the bench for the Swans. Perhaps one that you'd like to see stand up in this last quarter. Hasn't been down there all that much, so no doubt just managing the minutes with him and perhaps trying to get him on for the last 15 minutes of this quarter. So we're back in the middle. It's a game-high 18-point lead the way of the Brisbane Lions, chasing a 14-0 record. It'll equal the NEAFL's record for the most games won in a row. They're charging forward again, but Bell has other ideas. Flicks the handball out. It was punched away, though, from Flanagan. Brisbane keep coming. Good tackle there from the tackling machine, Berry. And it will be tossed up at half forward for the Lions.
Just a quick wrap for Eagles. He's done quite well since going into the ruck here. He's got 7 hit-outs so far.
Tossed up again. Noel won this one down. Bastanak was hot on Rose, who you mentioned before, Chris, been a bit quiet. Get the Smith driven into the turf there by Noel, and we'll have another toss-up at a true centre-half forward position for the Lions. Can the Swans get a bit of run and carry out of this stoppage off half-back? Noel won it down. Eagles got the footy. Here's a man that can run and go. Couldn't quite pick it up. Could Bell let a teammate do the dirty work as the kick comes up? Foot race is on. Well picked up by Payne, but couldn't quite pick it up in the end. Alum came charging through. Chance here for Sydney. Ball just ricocheting around in the Swans forward line. Handball into a bit of space. Came the way of Thorne. Couldn't quite find it. Brisbane, composure outstanding across half back. And they've got players lining up through midfield. Smith goes long. Found Ballenden. Underground kick and missing to the left.
Oh, just lost a little bit of composure there. He had so much time and space. The numbers are all streaming forward. Just need to take a little bit longer, make sure the kick was online. In the end, just really snuck in for a point. They could have iced the game almost there. The Swans definitely need a lift here. Their midfield need to find something.
So McInerney kicking in duties. Short to the pocket. Just happy to take a bit of the Brisbane heat and the rage off this game. Kick to half forward. Wicks will have to do some crumbing front and centre. Couldn't quite find the handle on the footy. McCallum was there for Sydney too. Matheson lurking. Kicked a really good goal earlier in this quarter from a set shot. And it will be tossed in. Forward pocket for Sydney. For the Lions, rather. Just the experienced bodies of the Lions. The match fitness. You feel at this stage of the game will bring them home as Noel bashed it to the front. Amity snapping around the body. Good use of the body there from Brisbane. Kick to the pocket, overcooked Smith's head, but luckily he got a hand to it and forced a stoppage, so it will be tossed in.
There's been quite a few hack kicks out of defence by the Swans, and that just shows the pressure they're under. They're just getting the ball and just trying to throw on the boot and kick it as far as they can, and that's just not resulting in any movement up the field whatsoever because it just goes straight back.
Rose snapping into space. Bally charging off half back. Done well today. Robertson for the Lions. Thurlow there too for the Swans. Could have been in the back. Umpire said no. Foot missed the kick the first time. Had a second attempt. Toby Wooler laying a bit of a tackle for Brisbane, as was Smith. And Nick Brewer returns the footy to the umpire via the ground. Swans at half back. Eagles in front position. Really good tap down work there from the reality star as Brisbane go inside 50 again. Armity really good use of the body. Charging through. Snapping. Couldn't quite get his kick away there. Fullerton. Umpire call play on. Goes to the top of the pocket. And Toby Wooler couldn't quite reel that one in.
Armty's been quite good one-on-one, I've noticed, this game so far. He just seems to have enough time and space, and he's able to read the ball coming in. Just then with the spoil as well, he was able to read the ball just slightly better than his opponent and just get a spoil in there. So Naismith and Menzel come charging on the ground. What can Jeremy Laidler's men muster here? Not a goal, because running through, that is really, really good stuff there from Cedric Cox. Just crumbed the stoppage beautifully. Had some space and snapped a goal that takes this ball game out to a 23-point Brisbane Lions margin. The Lions have just made it rain goals in the last 10 minutes in particular. They've had tremendous scoreboard and forward pressure, locking the Swans in and just pressuring them and just going at it constantly just to grind goals. And at the moment, they've got a very imposing lead.
25 points, rather.
A 25-point lead with which 4 goals. Can the Swans do it? Absolutely, with the time remaining. However, it's going to be a big ask for these young Swans.
So footy back in the middle. Impressed by the knowledge of our viewers today, Chris. Few of them saying just around three-quarter time, just watch the Lions charge through and record a 5-goal win. It's looking that way likely. 25-point margin at the moment. Been a pretty good game of footy for both teams. Pretty good hit-out as well. Just 4 games left after this before the real stuff starts, the finals. Both of these teams will be there. Tossed up in the middle. Eagles, well, he got a hit out. It bounced off his thigh. Rose led in the chase for it. Eagles' second effort was really good. Threw it out in the end on the I Love Blacktown wing. Good pick up there by McInerney. Through traffic. Got a snapped kick up to half forward. Picked up there really nicely by Tommy Griffiths. Couldn't get a clean possession away. Bashed away by Berry. Eagles copped a falcon on this occasion. Bastanak back to Coleman. Coleman across half back. Good pressure from the Sydney Swans attack. They've still got a bit of life in them yet. Running to half forward. Thurlow lining them up and missing.
Oh, defender there with his eyes for goal. Classic story, just misses to the left-hand side. But that was more positive play from the Swans there. They showed some really good pressure forward play there.
So first score of this quarter for the Swans. It took them all of 19 minutes. Ballenden on the lead. Geez, that's a really strong chest mark taken there.
Just dropped in his lap nicely.
He'll bring it up the wing. Swans with numbers, but they couldn't just arrange the pieces. So Fullerton took a pretty simple chest mark. Long to half forward. The ball will bounce out after going over the head of Nathan Eagles. Matt Eagles, rather. G'day to Nathan Eagles if you're watching. Not sure who you are, but hi.
Eagles has been really impressive this quarter, I found. He's really matched it with the Swans ruckman, and as well taking it in the midfield as well, not just a tap hit out.
Feeling the shoes of Archie Smith, of course, missing today for the Lions. Bell came charging off the line, really impressed with his game. One of the Swans' best. Handball was good. McInerney, speaking of men who have been in the best, McInerney to Rose. There's all three in a row. High to half forward. It was touched off the boot. How will it bounce? It will bounce the advantage of the Swans. Cody Hurst couldn't find the handle on it. Caden Coleman, pressure was really good. Just locked it in there for Brisbane. And it will be tossed up. Half forward flank for Sydney.
I thought just for a brief second there, Cody Hurst was out. He just had that little bit of a step about him. The youngster's certainly got some pace, just being held up.
So footy in again and held to, and it will be tossed up. Eagles bashing that one down. Rose somehow got a handball out into space, picked up there by Cox. Tackle from Flanagan was good. Swans with numbers. McInerney came back the way of Flanagan through traffic. Belhey came out wide to Thurlow. He's found a bit of run and dash in this final quarter. Took a bounce even. Got it to half forward. Packer players, Menzel was lurking. Campbell as well, outstanding on debut. Couldn't quite do much on this occasion as Taylor got a booming kick out of defence to the I Love Blacktown wing. A bit nonchalantly balled and let the footy bounce off his chest. Had time to pick it up. Kick goes out wide from Lions. So Brisbane just happy to take a little bit of time off the clock as we move into time on. Leading this one by 4 straight kicks.
Colin McFadden was just a little bit sore behind play there, just copped some contact. He's up and running now. He's kind of jogged himself to full forward.
Kick up, half forward, bashed away, tossed in. So 4 weeks to go after this one. The Swans, they play the Giants, Aspley, Gold Coast, and then the Lions again. Brisbane, Southport, Gold Coast, GWS and Sydney. So no easy game in there for really both clubs. The Suns today have been on song against the Giants, kicked the first 6 goals of the game. That game happening as we speak on NEAFL TV. Flick across and have a look at the conclusion of this one as the Swans clear it from defence. Coleman was thereabouts. Eagles 2 for the Lions, and it was Eagles who just picked it up. Came out wide. The Irishman Madden to half forward. Went over the head of the 2 players there. Rose just made a bit of a dummy run as the footy eventually just trickled out of play.
The Lions have really shown their premiership credentials right here. They're going to be hard to beat this year. Undefeated, as we've said all through the broadcast. It looks like they might get up here, although there's still a game on our hands here. But they're really showing what's made them such an imposing footy side on the competition this year.
So the Swans out of half-back. Bell and Rose linking up. It will come back to the captain. Bell charging through. Handball out wide. Clean bowled Cody Hurst there, but his second effort was good. Cody Hurst, can he run and get the footy? Got it inside 50 in the end. Armity was there, picked it up, flicks the handball back, snapping around the body. Hamish Allam, he'll go to the hot spot. Lions with numbers, picked up by Jacob Allison. So Allison deep in the back pocket.
Cody Hurst did quite well there. Just created a little bit of chaos up forward, which gave Allam the chance.
Found Coleman, did Wooler. Came back to Allison. Pretty good game across the full back line, Allison. Kick up. Was cut off in the end by Luke Parks. Got the handball forward. Wooler, apologies, not Wooler. Starcevic came charging off the line. Lions with numbers. Long one. Pink underneath it. But marking in front was Ballenden. So Ballenden has a look. It's a pretty vacant forward 50. Fullerton the target. It'll fall a little bit short of Berry, I think it was, had his head chopped off. In fact, it's McFadden, and he will line them up from the impossible pocket. Haven't seen a set shot here today. I reckon I've seen one for the season.
Yeah, the closest we got today was that one that ricocheted into the post.
This is a man that can do it too. 12 goals, 7 for the season. Played 12 of a possible 13 games for the year. This number 13. Set shot. McFadden. Drop punt on the way.
Oh,
Guess what? Misses from the impossible pocket.
It's that curse. Line set up here for a little bit of the net. They've got two defenders out back in the middle, just trying to hold it in for the Swans.
So short one, didn't go the 15. Rose will have to go. He'll take a bounce running laterally across the ground. Didn't gain a metre. He'll get it back. Now in a bit of space. He'll get a bit of meterage to his name. Long kick. Looking for Barling. He'll get it on the... He didn't get it on the bounce in the end. Thought it was going to be a bit of a half volley. Goes out wide. Menzel found himself in some space. Has a look forward and, geez, it looks like it's all Lions. Punched away. Chance, though, here for the Swans. Noel did well. Came out to Naismith. He's kicked 2 goals. Just bashing it forward. Armity, Naismith couldn't quite get boot to it this time. Keeps it in, got boot to it that time. Eagles will bend over, pick it up on the second attempt. Goes long. Robertson standing all alone. Now he can go quickly if he wants. He's got Fullerton leading to the side. Rose from the side. But Fulton kept his feet, just bashes the footy to half forward. Foot race on. Rayner's there, picked it up, composed, cross half back. Goes to McCallum. Transfers play to the I Love Blacktown wing. Nick Brewer's there, in a bit of space. Goes to a 2-on-1 situation. The 2 with Lions win out. Handball came the way of Lions. Lions out wide. It was nice. It was very smooth. Lewis Taylor found some space, came to McFadden, lined up the big sticks from 50. He's got Fullerton in the goal square, couldn't mark, bashed away. And the footy, did it touch the boot there? Not quite off Fullerton, and it will be thrown in.
Fullerton had his work cut out for him there. 2-on-1 in the goal square. Really good result in the end, actually, the boundary throw, and just allows his forwards to get forward. The Lions to set up the net just to keep it in there and pressure those Swans again.
So we wait for the footy to be tossed in again. Skinner did well. Rose, though, at his feet, did the crumbing. Swans get a kick out wide. Good use of the body, 2-on-1 situation. It'll be picked up by Leicester. Could have copped one high. Robertson, been good. Starcevic had a really good first quarter. That kick, probably a reflection of his second half. Did well to win the ball and then just threw it away a little bit.
Rose has really come alive here late in this fourth quarter. He's now got 36 disposals. I think it's about 7 touches this quarter off half back.
That's a kick to Armity. Will work well, but he'll look up and see that Brisbane defence, as they've done all day, has been on point. Swans players get back now, so he can go to a big pack. Bashed away from Noel. Chance, though, for Barling. Just kept it in. Does his kick stay in the pocket? It doesn't. Even better, it has landed on the chest of the defender there, Thurlow. He'll go to the goal kicker in Menzel. Menzel will bend it around his body and kick his third and bring it back to a 19-point ball game.
Menzel really does love that check side. He kicked one almost identical to that goal in I think it was the second quarter of the game, and
about the same pit of turf as well.
Yeah, that's right. He certainly loves that kick there, that 25-metre out little check side. But really great play there. Being aware as well, just to keep it in, find that pass to Furlow, who just spotted up Menzel perfectly.
So you'd suggest it is a bit too late for the Swans. 19-point ball game. They'd need 4 goals to win it.
Yeah, Lions have just been so hard-nosed today. They've hunted in packs through the midfield, just their pressure. Having, as well, the hit-outs go against them with Noel and Naismith just being so imposing. It just shows how hard their midfield's worked and how talented this list is for the Lions.
Really good work from the Lions coach, Mitch Hahn, to just bring Eagles into the ruck in this second half as the main man to do the job, because he has done it really, really well after you said the Swans got on top. As Lions goes inside 50, it will clear the pack, it will come out the back. Swans defenders under pressure again. Ballenden back to Lions. Lions chipping kick is a good one. Didn't travel the 15, so they'll have to go to the hot spot. Punched away there. Chance here to ice the game, does Ryan Bastanak. And the Lions are on track to hit the NEAFL record and win 14 in a row.
As well, that goal brought up Bastanak's 40th disposal for the afternoon as well. So Bastanak has had an absolute blinder today. He has been by far best on ground. Really, really impressive. He did have a quiet about 5 minutes just there, but he's just broken the 40 disposals with a few minutes here still to play at Blacktown.
So a few positives out of the game today for the Swans. They've certainly been able to match it with the Lions for 3 quarters with a lot of academy players playing. I think there'd be about a dozen of them, maybe 10. Sam Naismith's come back to footy, kicked a couple of goals in that second quarter, matched it in the ruck. He's on the bench now. Didn't play the first quarter. I don't think we'll see him back on, so that's a big tick for the Swans.
Yeah, absolutely. And Michael Knoll, too, has been very, very good in the ruck as well, because the senior side, currently the Swans, they're looking at their ruck options just while Sinclair is currently down injured.
We'll have a look at the ticks for the Lions at the next stoppage as Eagles wins this one down. Rose did well, bashed away there, came the way of Bell. He's another tick for the Swans. Through traffic, Rayner, he's been nice. Flicked the handball backwards as the kick goes to the I Love Blacktown wing. Chance here for the running player there, Taylor. Enjoyed his game today. They keep going to the Lions at half forward in front of the scoreboard. Long one to the pocket. Robertson out the back, but standing his ground in front, Connor Ballenden. And it's a free kick for a push.
Oh, I was going to say Pink got outbodied there, but that free kick being paid just saved him having that stat against his name.
So Bell in the defensive goal square. Goes long. Robertson should cut this off and mark. Quite enjoyed his game there, Nick Robertson. So the Lions, their ticks as we wait for Robertson to have a shot at goal. Ben Keys out of this team, leading goal kicker for them. They've found avenues for goal, really good. Archie Smith dominated the ruck in the NEAFL this year and been a really good user of the footy as well. They've worked around that. They were owned in the ruck in that first half and then found out that Matt Eagles, pretty handy ruckman.
Yeah, he's not too bad, Matt Eagles. And as well, he's a very talented midfielder as well. So he's been able to probably outwork the Swans, Knoll and Naismith at ground level as we see that shot just be pushed to the left.
So, and they're young kids for the Lions today. Coleman hasn't had much of it, but when he has had it, he's looked good. Cumberland, he's been pretty good. Griffiths as well, he's popped up in the second half. So the Swans will bring it in. Just a short little dinky one. String of handballs over the top. Menzel will eventually find himself with it. Eagles came off the long run and cleaned him up. Here's Bell. He can break lines, this kid. He put it on his right boot to half forward. 4-on-1, but it's a pretty good kick in the end. It's well crumbed front and centre by the debutant Campbell, but he couldn't quite find a teammate. The Lions' pressure really good. Came out the way of Skinner. Skinner has a look forward. Swans' defence marked up pretty well. And the short kick's a really nice one, and it finds McFadden. Goes to Robertson. And Robertson, just a short little one. He'll go backwards, just racking up possessions. Starcevic started really strongly. Starcevic goes back to Robertson. It's punched away, though. Just playing out time, really. And Josh Rayner ensuring we'll have another stoppage.
Yeah, Rayner had a good sniff for it there. He was trying to bait the kick into going, and he just got in there with his fist. Really good play there by Rayner.
So we wait for the footy to come in. Centre wing broadcast side ticks off a pretty good weekend for the Lions. A win in Tassie in the AFL yesterday. Smith's got his head over the footy, and that one goes out of play towards the Lions bench, and they'll record win number 14 today. 26-point lead at the moment. Starcevic cross half back. Good kick, Lions. How many has he had, Chris? We'll get to that in a second. Robertson.
Lions 35.
So not quite the 40 that he had last week against the Suns. Short one inboard, good. Smith marked, 50 out. He'll look to chip it and go. Cox was waiting for it, and Cox marks.
There, the match fitness of these Brisbane Lions has just run over the top of the Swans late here. These kids have been very gallant today by the Swans as the final siren sounds.
So, Cedric Cox take it out to a 32-point margin, which if you were tipping this game at the start of the day, I think that's what many people would have been predicting, around 5 goals. Cox comes in, drop punt on the way. Was it the impossible pocket? I don't think so, because he's kicked a goal.
He's done it.
Pretty easy. 32-point win for the Lions. They make it 14 in a row, which equals the record set by the Sydney Swans in 2017. Really good game of footy, Chris. So what did you take away from it?
Oh, the Lions, they've really stamped out their premiership credentials here. You can see what an impressive list they are. The Swans, a bit young today. They had a lot of academy kids, quite young. Just their match fitness just showed them up at the end, just playing a little bit young. But the Lions are the real story today.
So our goal kickers for today for the Swans. Menzel kicked 4. Naismith in his comeback game kicked 2. On debut, Campbell really impressed with his game. He kicked 2. Foot and Noel singles. For the Lions, their 15-goal performance. Ballenden, Bastanak, Lyons, Cox all kicked 2, and then singles down the sheet. McFadden, Robertson, Matheson, Taylor, Smith, Madden, all with 1 apiece. It was a 32-point win in the end for the Brisbane Lions. Chris Corby, outstanding today. Well done.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be here and call this game.
So the write-up will be on neafl.com.au later on in the day. But the Lions, they're all conquering in the NEAFL this year, extend their lead at the top of the table. They're 14-0.
Yeah, well, Bastanak so far is best on ground today. 41 disposals, which just tells you he had leather poisoning out there today. He just kept finding it all day long. His third quarter was ridiculous. He just found the ball, really propelled the Lions to this big victory today.
So from the Blacktown International Sportspark, I'm Eddie Summerfield. Hope you have a great afternoon, and we'll see you at the footy next weekend.